All right, we're live. So, our adventure starts in this quaint town of Valoron. It's nestled in this vale along a river which kind of curves and winds. It's kind of hidden from all the strange mysteries of the world. It's very peaceful and tranquil. And kind of dominating its center is this academy of sorts. It's this clave of eon priests, these knowledge seekers and scientists and kind of religious folk, all in one bundle. That do a lot of kind of researching and all that good stuff. Involve themselves a lot with the Numenera, these mechanical and technological remnants of the past. Numenera is something that surrounds you, all of you, in this world. And you even have like little bits and baubles in your own possession that you can use, called ciphers. But anyways, we're in this particular room with this very, very frumpy-looking man. He's short in stature, maybe 4 feet tall, kind of wide set, bigger bones. He's got this long beard that he's twirling around in his fingers. He's looking up at the four of you. Well, are you ready to go? It seems that you were dozing off at his speeches about what he was talking about the moment prior.
Oh, I'm as ready as I can be. This is going to be so exciting.
What? Yes, I'm ready. Let's go!
Sure.
Where are we going again? I dozed off there for a minute.
So I believe you didn't get anything that I said for the past
No, I did.
15 minutes?
I did. Oh, Todd didn't. No.
He's like stamping his foot and like kind of irritated.
No. It's fine though. You just tell me what I need to protect you from. It will be okay.
We'll fill you in, Todd. I kind of like give that look over to him, like, oh, I can't believe he missed the whole explanation. Oh my god.
Silk just stands there quietly, but gives a brief nod and just kind of shakes her head at Todd falling asleep.
It's not my fault. You were very boring.
I'm not boring. I'm Binra, the most bizarre biologist in all of Valoron. He's kind of like waving his hands out very exorbitantly. This small-statured man.
I only know like 2/3 of the words you've been saying.
All right, fine. I will explain it again in more layman's terms.
Like, see you there or go again. What is layman?
For the simple folk. So there are 3 creatures I request of you to procure for me. Alive, please. Each one I'll give you a reward of 100 shins. Shins being the form of currency in the world of Numenera. The first creature is the Trelink. It is a small beast, 6 limbs with big bulbous eyes. Has a taste for sweets. Has a long coiling tail and color-changing skin. I need a Trelink. As well, I need a creature known as a glyph. Not much is known about the glyph, but has an amazing natural armor and a taste for metals. But beware, it seems to be very territorial. I need that one brought back alive as well. And lastly, I need the creature known as a convert. It has these shiny, iridescent scales, a long, hooked beak. They're very definitely friendly and not at all hostile. They love the smell of the nectar of the yubnub root. You'll find those, they look like giant teeth. They grow in these gardens. It's magnificent.
Oh, I'm familiar with the yubnub root.
I sure hope you are. If you're from around these parts, you'd probably take a gander at them a few times. Is that it? Do I need to repeat myself again? He kind of like looks at Todd.
Yeah, earlier you said the word pro something. I don't know what that word is.
Procure means to fetch.
Oh,
Todd, why don't you go look and see if there's anybody like trying to get into the room real quick?
yes. I'll protect the room. Don't you worry.
Don't mind him, Mr. Binra. He's the muscle for this excursion. I do have a question, however. The glyph, not much is known about it besides what it's known to eat, and it has natural armor.
Yeah, it's a very reclusive creature, and that's why I want to study it so fervently.
Do we know any habitats or areas where might have been seen?
Oh yes, all of these creatures can be found in the forest of standing trees. It's, one day east of Valron. Did you not hear that the first time I said it? He says. He kind of points to the direction, and you guys need to go.
Silk just kind of chuckles, says, "You remind me of the vice vermin of my tribe. She had a habit of talking fast too."
Well, if I talk any slower, we'd all get old.
She just kind of chuckled.
Todd pokes his head in and
says,
says, or you could just talk less.
"Well, we should be on our way. It sounds like we have plenty of work to do."
Yes, we have plenty of information. We can carry out the mission.
Ah, very good, very good. They'll be off. Come on, shoo shoo. You're turning out the place.
Of course. Let's go.
I scuffle out the door.
I walk outside.
As you guys are leaving his little laboratory, he goes and grabs a broom from, against the wall. He's like, diligently sweeping where you guys were standing. Must stay clean, must stay clean, must stay clean. He kind of is muttering as you guys leave.
So the forest that's east of Valoran, huh? I'm familiar with where that forest is. I've been in there a time or two. Unfortunately, I've never seen any of these beasts that Binra's described.
Well, looks like we'll have to set a bait and wait for them to come. Probably to get some of that yapnap root first.
That sounds like a good plan. I believe he said that we could probably grab some right outside of the laboratory. So I'll go about collecting some of that so that we have it on hand. I'm not entirely sure what we can use for bait for the other two.
Well,
Random metal?
Yes, he said the first one liked sweets, and one of them ate metal.
All right. We'll figure it out as we go.
However, and she looks at Grace, and then the bow that he had given Grace in a while back. But on a piece, a good thing, and I don't think he has that quality about him.
That man talked so fast. I swear even I only caught every other word. I didn't even realize he had mentioned anything that about the trailing that we could possibly have used to try to lure it.
Silk just smiles, says, "Yes, only reason I kept up with most of it was because I've dealt with people like that in my clan, and you kind of learn to read more into what they don't say."
I see. Yeah. No, I totally get it. So, I guess maybe in addition to the nectar, we should probably pick up some metal scraps or something to try to lure out the glyph. And I'm sorry, did you say the trailing like sweets?
Yeah,
Sweets
yeah.
like candy?
That's all Binra said. It was taste for sweets.
Nougat. Wait, sorry.
Things like honey, perhaps. Perhaps. I'm sure a city like this would have some.
Village, but yes, I imagine that it
And
would probably have some honey, so we could pick some
but
of
the
that up as well.
meadow, doesn't Todd have that cipher? He's never really made use of it, but if I remember right, he said it was a metal plate at one point.
Well, I'm just concerned, like I have no problem using things as bait to draw things out, but I mean, the nature of bait is things eat it or, damage it sometimes.
It
I
might
don't
not be good for it to eat an expanding piece of metal. It might kill this thing. Not a good plan. Supposed to bring it back alive.
Todd's got a point.
Well,
Well, we can try to catch it before it swallows.
depend on the size of the creature, which I'm not familiar with any of these beasts.
I'm sorry.
You know
Wait,
what, Silk? I haven't thought about the size of the beast until you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have asked about that.
I would assume the one that eats metals is probably going to be large and dangerous. Yes. But the others might be smaller and more easy to handle.
we know that the trailing is quite small. There was no size given for the glyph, and I agree that that one's probably a little on the massively larger than the trailing or than the trailing size, but I don't know about the third one.
I have this plan. I will go and I will stand very still and it will say, "Ah, delicious metal," and then I will jump out and surprise it and catch it.
Now, there are some faults with that plan. Firstly, it's gonna eat you.
Oh, I'll jump out and surprise it.
Alright then.
And he didn't say we couldn't injure the creatures. He just wants them alive.
Good
Which
point.
might be an issue for me. And you all would know she's kind of referring to the fact when she fights, she draws her veil and she doesn't stop until everything's dead. And sometimes that's been an issue with companions as well.
I pat my bow and say, well, this is only for other threats and emergencies, not for the beasts.
Is that the bow?
Silk just kind of smiles, says, and let's hope you never have to use it on me.
Don't worry. If you get too uppity, I'll just hold you real tight.
Sure, Todd. We'll go with that plan.
Silk just kind of chuckles and looks at Todd. In your dreams, little man.
Ha! Little? Oh, I don't get it.
It's fine, really.
All right, let's procure our baits.
Yeah, look around
And
if you
then-
can find that route.
Yeah, you guys continue this conversation. I'm gonna go find some yub-nub.
So Grayson, you're pretty familiar with kind of the botany of the region, and you know that the Yubnub route is like as you kind of step out of the building, you can actually almost see the field of it, kind of beyond the town of Valron. It's hard to miss. There's these giant, jagged pieces of, they look like teeth, giant teeth, towering, taller than buildings, all out in this field, this plains. These are the Yubdub. And they have these, like roots, that kind of burrow in the ground.
Sure.
I guess
So
you want
I probably know that you have to like get to the base of the tooth part and whatnot, and dig down a little bit to get to the actual root. But what is it? And where the nectar would be located. I know these things.
And so one quick thing that we totally forgot to do before we set up on this adventure was to do character connections and stuff. Since Alex pointed that out very handily. So we'll take a little intermission from this little game we're playing in the RP and stuff, just to kind of go through and really establish those connections based on your character focuses and stuff. And so whoever volunteers to go first can do so.
I'll go. Oh, you can go, Jaren.
Okay, yeah, mine was kind of already established, but to me, having our characters have known each other for a while, and I gifted her this hand-hewn bow that I had made, seeing that she likes to fire at a range, and we actually both get a +1 to defense, and stat asks if we're fighting back to back. Although that probably won't happen too often because I'm kind of a loose cannon.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. That's your connection, Jaren. Alex, you want to go next?
Yeah. So Todd is tough, and one of his things is he randomly decides that somebody needs to be protected, and he just kind of latches on and makes sure whatever they're doing is safe. People don't really know this, but he was actually engineered in a lab to be a bodyguard, so his natural instinct is to protect things. And so one day he just up and noticed Grayson looking like she might be in danger, and he just started, I've got to protect her. And she doesn't actually need much protecting, but he's decided that's what he's got to do for at least a couple of weeks.
Cool. I would have chuckled if you hadn't picked Silk. That would have been totally hilarious.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. It's kind of already been established that my connection is with Jaren's character, Silk. So a while back, we had done some adventuring and some jobs together and whatnot. And Jaren is the person who made my bow. So that's nice. We've got that nice little history there. And then he's actually the one who told me about this gig for Binra to go and find the strange and exotic, and it was right up my alley since I'm from basically like a family of researchers, and that's kind of my thing.
Right, and my character, Minori, knew Todd from a while back. We happened together in another gig, and I accidentally I hurled him towards the sky for a good distance before he crashed down, and being sturdy as he is, he survived. But from then on, I've been concerned about him From guild mostly.
And we'll have 2, right?
Yeah.
Which leads to my connected one. Minori is the only one who knows that Todd is not entirely human. In fact, he's not at all. He is his bones are all servos, and his skin is reanimated corpse. And Minori knows that because he fell down pretty hard and had to get fixed back up. But he made Minori promise not to tell anybody.
Yeah, so that seems pretty good for connections. Yeah, so you can see this big expanse, this field filled with these kind of like teeth-like giant structures in it. They look like what I have screen shared here. There's just, hundreds upon hundreds of them, almost like a forest, if not for their strange ceramic white coloring. And that is the Yamna Plains.
All right. So I'm going to go collect me some nectar from the base. I've never Numenera before. How do you...
Are these close to us, or do we see them in the horizon?
Kind of more on the horizon than like really close.
Oh, well, then we should go
Then
together.
I'll probably wait
Yeah.
until we've got everything else together and we set off before I go do those
Yeah,
collections.
about a mile or so out of town.
Okay, then.
Retcon.
So Oak just kind of nods, says, perhaps stopping by the tavern or a general trading post would be a good idea. They might both have hunting.
We might want to try to procure a couple of different types of sweet just in case.
Yes, but honey is the only one I know of. But then again, in the north, things don't grow like they do down here.
Why
It's
don't we go
maybe
see
like
what they've got?
our
There are other
friend.
sweets.
Like cake. I love cake.
I was thinking sugar cane, but cake too.
Well, maybe we'd get cake for us then.
So yeah, I guess we'll head over to the whatever is considered to be the general goods store.
Yeah, there's a kind of a trading post kind of general store in this town of Balron. It's called Gabbo's Goods.
Okay. P.S. Still here smoking, so don't mind the empty chair.
Sounds good. And so this little quaint shop known as Gabbo's Goods isn't much of a building and more of a bunch of stalls kind of arranged. It's a very like an outdoor market kind of setup. And there's Gabbo at the center. He's a very portly man, very tall. He's got this bronzed skin. His hair shimmers with blue iridescent light. Some kind of perhaps a strange mutation he has, or maybe some kind of augmentation. You're unsure. But as the four of you approach, you can see that his whole skin is kind of speckled with these little bits of blue that kind of glint in the sunlight and really contrast well with his bronzed skin. He kind of like, hello, travelers and customers. How can I help you today?
Hello, Gobble. You're looking fine today.
Ah, you as well, Todd. What do you need today?
Something sweet.
But you're not good enough. You're sweet.
Ah, you slay me. But no, it is for the little beasts out there, and I don't want them chewing on me.
Well, I've got some honey. I've got some sweets and some candies. I got some fresh fruit.
All of those sound great, but I don't really know what we're looking for beyond that it's supposed to be sweet.
Then Gabbo kind of looks to the other three of you.
I think we're looking for an assortment of various things that are sweet, so we can try different items and see what works better.
Yeah, how about a small bag of some candy?
Yeah, for sure. So I have some candies here. They're very caramelized goods. You have this little. I can give you this bag here for 1 shin. Kind of like rustles a bag of them. And there's like maybe like 12 or so. These like kind of marble-sized candies in it.
Do you take credit?
No, in these lands we do not take credit. More.
Silk just kind of
Bargain.
smiles, says, "Tell you what, throw in some sweet fruit and some honey, and I'll just pay you the 5 shin that I carry."
So yes,
Right
I
then.
can. Here, a whole assortment for you. Kind of like in the kind of gets a box kind of ready and throws in some pastries and a little bit of honey and some of these candy, little marble candies, and some fresh fruit, and kind of gives you a smaller kind of box full of this kind of assortment of things.
Cool.
That'll be 5 shins.
I hand him the 5 shin, and then kind of it goes, "You make a fine deal, but maybe next time you'll want to haggle." Oh, I find merchants often can drive a better price. And she just kind of chuckles because she knows she overpaid.
No, Gabble scrapes great deals, don't you, Gabble?
Gabble's got the greatest deals in all of Valoron. He says this.
Speaking
He's
of
like the only
which,
sword.
since I bring such fine customer, maybe I have small piece of cake.
You make me chuckle, Todd. Kind of like shrugs and gives you like a tiny little piece of this pastry cake stuff.
And Todd eats it, and while he's chewing, he's like, "This is the best day."
Tell all your friends about me. Kind of says that you guys are leaving, I guess.
Now,
As we walk out, I'm gonna be like, the best deal in Valoron, the only deal in Valoron. But that's okay. I can't believe you spent 5 shins on all of this.
well, we can eat some.
Silk just kind of smiles, and Isle says, I have no need for money. I only carry it for convenience sake. It's easier to transport for currency."
It must be nice to live such a bohemian lifestyle, but the rest of us kind of need to keep tighter purses, so. But never mind.
Grayson,
Onwards, I guess.
what is this word, bohemian?
Oh,
Now, can we see any junkyards around here? Any places that looks like a pile of trashes?
The odd thing about the ninth world and this world of Numenera is that a junkyard wouldn't be a place that people put their garbage. More like a junkyard would be somewhere like would be a store, because junk has so much value to it and so much kind of inherent cool stuff that garbage can do. And so there would be a man who sells trinkets and oddities and baubles and various assortments of Numenera.
I
This
think
man is actually
what he's looking for is more like metal or smith, blacksmith, something
right.
like
So
those lines.
I guess we'd be looking for like, what is it? Any place that might have metal scrap.
If there is a
From-
blacksmith, he might have slag.
definitely be kind of an armor smith or a metal worker, as well as like this caravan that comes through, and he's making a brief stop in the town of Valoron. It's this this kind of traveling merchant that has this kind of caravan that floats on the ground, over the ground. It's kind of like in a hovercraft style. This wagon kind of like teeters and totters, but it's filled to the brim with various Numenera and ciphers and oddities and such.
Nice ride.
He's getting a lot of attention going through this town. Everyone's like, waving up their money. It's like, I want something, I want something. And he's like,
Silk just kind of stares because she's never seen anything like that.
I'll motion to the others. There, we should ask him. And I'll go and start looking around his craft, trying to figure out how it works.
Is there any noticeable point of entry, like a little way plank like there are on ships between the ship and the dock?
It's more, he kind of set up this podium in front of his floating caravan, where he's standing, and like this lineup has formed, where people are kind of lining up to talk with him and get various things. And you see him like take money and reaches back and gives something to someone else, and the person goes away happy with their purchase. Another person comes up and he rustles around and finds something else and gives it to them in exchange for money, and so on and so forth, like that.
Gotcha. So I guess we approach the podium.
Go stand in the line. I'll be right here, and I'll go and start looking on that strange craft and see how it's floating.
And so, yeah, this craft, you can tell kind of by looking at it and your kind of mechanical savviness. You can kind of tell that this, oh my god, cat, get out of here. You can tell that this craft, it's not really much like levitating, more than, well, it's obviously levitating, but it's not, it's not pushing down with any kind of like air or thrust. It seems to be floating, kind of harmlessly and like effortlessly above the ground. And I can imagine maybe because of your magnetic capabilities, you actually feel that this craft actually repulses against the Earth's magnetism. It causes it to float, a few feet off the ground.
Yeah,
it's power of magnetism, yeah.
It's exactly on my field of expertise, so I'll just stand right there taking notes about it and let the others talk it out.
In the meantime, the three of you kind of lined up, and it takes a while, but eventually, your turn in line comes after, the 20 or so people in front of you have all gotten their baubles that they so dearly wanted. And this man, he's dressed in this very extravagant clothing. He's got various bits of metals and piercings and bangles and such, kind of all adorned on his body. Ah, you come to my traveling caravan, have you? I am Vanicha.
Hello, Vanicha. You look rather interesting. I like all of the things you have.
No, thank you. Say, do you want some for yourself?
Yes. How much?
1 shin per ornament.
I have 2 shins for you then.
Ah, 1 for each arm. And he kind of reaches down and gets these kind of like jingly bangly things that, kind of jingle as he kind of shakes them, and then he hands them to you. They're, metal rings kind of fastened together. And they make this odd humming noise whenever they clatter with each other. Instead of like that audible and that very, very iconic like clang sound that metal makes, instead they make a boom, boom, boom sound when they kind of bang together. And the deep, more resonating tone.
He just walks away and plays with them for a little bit.
And how about for the other 2 of you? What would you like today?
We're specifically looking for metal scraps.
How much do you need?
What was that word that What was that word that you used?
Slag?
Slag. Thanks.
He's not going to have any slag. You have to get the blacksmith.
Yeah, I don't know that metal scraps or slag.
I have something better than that. He kind of reaches around and gets a very odd-looking box. And the box has these like handles and levers on it, kind of in this weird kind of shape up to it. He kind of like switches the little switch on the side, and then this little kind of opening opens up, and it goes kind of like almost like confetti. But as it kind of hangs in the air, you can see how it glints. It seems to be like little tiny like iron particles. They kind of hang in the air for a bit until it kind of all settles like dust.
Interesting. How often? How many times will this do this? Is it finite? Is it a limited use?
I have never had this thing run out, you'd say.
That's interesting, and it
This
might
machine
serve.
captures the iron in the air and in the ground to turn it into a nice cloud of iron for you.
I kind of look to who the hell is still with me? Just Silk? I kind of look to Silk and say, this could work. What do you think?
Silk says it should be useful if you can afford it.
That's true. So, sir, how much does a contraption like this, how much will a contraption like this go for?
Well, I've had deals. I have a buyer that's willing to part 10 shins for it. And you see, we're good friends, that buyer and I. But if you make a better offer, I'm sure he would understand. But the deal's bargain's my trade. So
yeah.
I come along the side. And,
I'm
I
like,
say,
I look super sketch, like 10 shims, huh? Like, I'm not sure that I'd be willing to pay more than 6 for this. What else do you have then for scrap metal? Because that's not going to work.
sure. Okay, well, thanks for your consideration. Then he kind of puts it down on the kind of the podium beside him, not really putting it away with the rest of his belongings, kind of keeping it out for a bit. He kind of turns around and starts rustling through his stuff. And after a bit, if there's no interruptions, he'd kind of pull out. It seems to be a very odd sight to see. He kind of pulls out this long metal rod, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 feet, 10 feet, continues pulling it out, 12 feet, 16 feet. There's this long pole just gets pulled out of his caravan. And by the time it's all said and done, he gets the end out, and there's this 30-foot hole that's kind of like dug into the ground a little bit in the sand, farther off from his caravan. It's like, this is a large piece of metal, if this is what you're looking for.
what did you ask for?
This thing, I could part with it for a meager 3 shins. It seems to have no use, and there's not a buyer for it in the near vicinity, so 3 shins.
So it's just a rando 30-foot pole of like.
It's not any. And he pulls out this little kind of coin purse he has at his side, kind of like jingles it and kind of like shows off, oh, this thing's empty. And he grabs like the end of the pole in this little tiny purse and puts it in, and then feeds it through again and through and through and through. And he's able to stuff this entire 30-foot pole inside this little bag of his.
I give
spins around, looks at him, and is like, "What is this magic?"
I give a satisfied nod and go, I think that'll do.
He's kind of juggling this coin purse around to show off how light it is, and then he immediately like pulls it out. He's like, "No, do you give me a hand with this?" And it's because he's like feeling out this 30-foot of pole. So you have this metal pole if you pay the 3 shins, and it can fit into any container. This pole.
Does it come with the bag?
You can use your bag if you want.
No, I want that bag.
I-
Todd
you
has
guys have
not
to start
gathered. Todd has not gathered
But-
that it's the bag, or that the pole is magic and not the bag.
Yeah. Why don't you try it with your bag? Maybe it works as well.
I'll take the pole.
It's very
Well-
unwieldy pole. But Taga, this merchant kind of like gives you kind of a weird look and then kind of shakes out his coins and kind of stuffs them in another pocket and just kind of just tosses you the bag, his little purse. For free.
Oh,
Silk,
this is excellent.
Silk kind of looks up says, and how about a different type of deal? You seem to travel these lands, and she pulls back her revealing in her almost albino white skin, and it's very evident she's a clansman, and it says, perhaps I can tell you of a place you might trade for other things not available in these lands. And in exchange, have you seen or heard of clansmen like me?
Interesting. I like your proposition, Miss. So yes, I have seen one of your kind kind of looking at your certain complexion or maybe tattooing your markings you have.
He would be rather easy to spot, and very much same kind of facial structure. Obviously referring to her father that the companions would know about. And says, and where was this and when?
It was the port city of Priandor. Just a few months' journey, but nonetheless, he was he was out of his very poor shape. I would say.
Okay, and when was this?
I traveled directly from there, so a few months prior from now.
Okay, very well. Well, if you go to the phone note, my clan lives there among the other tribes. And we have a large, I guess you would call it almost a mountain. And it's in the shape of what appears to be a Kodiak bear. At the winter solstice, we all meet there. And we trade among the tribes.
Oh, thank you for this information, Miss. Kind of like tips his hat to you.
She nods and says, thank you. That's the first I've heard about my father in quite some time. And she just kind of turns around, storms off a little bit, and mutters, when this is done, I'm going to kill him.
The merchant kind of, after, dealing with a kind of bargain between you, kind of points to the next person in line, is like, I'm you, what do you want? And then they go off and deal their little trade.
Take care, Viv, whatever your name was.
He kind of just gives you like a wave, like not even like saying anything.
Are you gonna be around here for a bit? Maybe a day or two.
I leave at the break of tomorrow's dawn.
I have some questions about your gyromagnetic resonators, but I have a job right now. We'll talk later.
Absolutely.
And I'll walk with the others.
And he kind of carries on to do more merchandising with other customers. And so now what do you guys do?
Now that we got the sweets and Todd has his bag, and you have the metal pole, we can go get those roots over there, right?
Yeah, let's shove the metal. Make sure the metal pole's shoved in something. I don't want to haul around a 30-foot metal pole. Just saying.
I can carry this for you. Don't
Oh,
worry.
super.
That's very nice, but
Silk,
there's no need for it. Really.
Silk just looks at Grayson and it goes, "Why not, little Owen? After all, anything these men can do, us ladies can do better."
While that's true, still doesn't appeal to me to carry around a 30-foot metal pole, and might actually be a boon for trying to find the glyph, but I don't think it'll help us out much trying to find the other two creatures.
He nods and just kind of chuckles. And Grayson would know she's trying to poke fun because she's really upset. Grayson definitely would know the story about her father disgracing the clan, and only way back into the clan is to bring his head back to them.
Yeah, it's all good, Silk. Let's just walk it off. We've got to go get some nectar, and then we got to go find some beasties.
She nods, says, yes, we have a job to do. Oh, vengeance can wait. For now.
That should be on a t-shirt. Vengeance can wait. All right. So, hopefully the what is it? Where we need to go for the teeth to, get the nectar is hopefully kind of on the way to the forest where we need to go. But
Yeah, definitely. It's about a mile outside of town. Definitely somewhat on the route to the forest of standing trees that that he said that all these beasts would be layering in. I think it's a little bit off, off the ways, but not too bad. So
yeah, that's fine. So I guess we'll head in that direction then.
So you follow the road out of town. The road itself kind of weaves and follows the river that flows through Valron, and it crosses this bridge, and the road literally almost winds through this field, kind of following along its edge. The field, as you kind of begin to approach it, you see that it's very massive. It could be multiple miles in any direction, of just studded with all these massive teeth-like structures growing from the orange soil of this field. And so you can see one close to you. It's towering about 50 feet in the air. It's about 20 feet from you guys from the road at this point, and it's made of this very, very kind of matted, matte-like finish, ceramic style material. It's got these orange kind of roots coming from in the ground and kind of working its all the way through the ground and breaking it up in places and supporting this massive tooth-like part of the creature. And this is the Yabna root.
All right. I'm going to grab my dagger, nod to them, and go, I'm going in.
This is safe, is it not, Grayson?
Of course it's safe. Otherwise, I wouldn't just say, I'm going in dramatically like that. I'd bring back
okay.
up or make you guys go first,
That's good, Grayson. If it's dangerous, you tell me to go first.
Of course. It's not dangerous, right, Connor?
So what do you do with this dagger of yours?
I'm planning to use it to harvest some of the some of the stalks that have nectar. I assume that the nectar is either inside part of the vines or the flowering portions.
Yeah, and as you get closer, you can see that there's many kind of smaller, kind of more wispy tendrils kind of coming off of these thick roots. Each of them kind of looking a little bit like flowers in how they're kind of just very kind of fluffy and not at all thick and root like. But your knowledge of the Yebna root would be that it's the inside of these roots. There's a juice, a nectar, kind of flows through them.
See, totally knew that, and so I'm gonna go harvest some of the tendrils. What is it? They look like they're pretty chunky, so I'm guessing just like a couple few.
Yeah, they're each about like maybe 8 or 9 inches in diameter. These thicker roots.
Diameter, okay.
Yeah, pretty fucking chunky. Okay,
Yeah,
so yeah, I'll go do that. Might need a bigger knife, but too bad for me. Got a dagger.
As your blade kind of meets the root, it's very thick and it resists your slicing. It's got this really hard, kind of crusty, bark-like surface. As you're able to kind of like work it, you're able to penetrate that. It kind of makes a little crunch sound as you pop through the outer shell of the roots. As this,
I start muttering profanities while I'm trying to saw at this branch-like thing with my dagger.
and as you puncture through its kind of this bark it has, immediately the root, as it's kind of coating the very edge of your blade with this kind of orange-like liquid, it retracts. As it kind of pulls itself out of the ground and kind of gets sucked up into the main portion of this thing.
Oh shit.
And
Guys, are you sure this thing is not dangerous? You seem to have upset it.
Totally. Jesus.
Did you see
totally, totally not dangerous. But this is really harder than I remember it being.
How about I will hold on to it very tightly and you cut it very quickly?
Good idea.
Silk just kind of chuckles, goes, "You might try using something a bit more suited to the task."
Thanks. Don't have anything.
And he pulls out her scimitar and her razor ring and says, "One of these might work better, but be careful touching the razor ring. It's sharp on all its edges."
Oh my god, no, that'll be perfect. You come here, come cut this.
And she goes over and just she'll try first with the scimitar or to just slice a chunk of it off.
while this is all happening, one by one, more of these roots embedded into the ground begin to stir and kind of break the earth around them as it begins to seemingly move this giant obelisk-like structure.
I have
As these-
changed my mind. We will leave this one alone now. Grayson, you have upset it, and now we should not play with it anymore.
I didn't. They've never
you
been
sure?
upset before.
What these are?
I don't know what anything is, but it is angry and we should leave.
Silk just kind of shakes her head and almost as if saying and that he's, for a tough grave, he's being cowardly, but not really saying it.
All right, I'm gonna let go of the tendril that I've been like that's it's half connected and I've been desperately holding on to, and I'm just gonna like move away and say, oh, okay, guys. Full disclosure, I've never actually tried to harvest the nectar before.
Yeah, that showed.
The books didn't say anything about any of this.
It's okay, Grayson. You didn't need to tell us. It was apparent.
Does your dagger have any resin on it?
Yeah, I think so. My dagger might have a little bit.
It's got like a little tiny bit of coating on it.
It's not that
Does it
much.
smell?
Yeah, this isn't that much. I feel like we should at least have a piece of a tendril. 'Cause
Maybe we should try at another one of those.
So kind of an odd says, yes, maybe gather a little bit from each and stop when they start to get upset.
New plan.
That is what I said.
Yeah, I totally agree with the both of you. So new plan. Let's find a less upset structure and go in quickly, dismember one of the tendrils and hoof it out.
Yes, angry girl. I will hold it, you cut it, and then we run.
He just chuckles, says, I don't run.
That is very foolish. Running is a very good skill.
However, if it goes to harm, I'm sure I can jump out of the way fast enough.
And I will
We'll see about that.
supervise from the side.
And that's the rock and ray. I'm keeping my eyes on the tendril that we were started to hack through. And because my razor ring can be thrown up to 50 feet. And I think what I'd like to do is, as we're walking away, I'd like to see if I can hit it to where we could actually cut off the rest of that tendril.
Okay.
Or
I
where
see.
we're cutting.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I'll give you the little heads up when it kind of like starts to settle back into its place again. Because this thing is very, very agitated. It's kind of shifting around. It's kind of moving side to side. And if you can actually move it a few feet over, kind of like snaking on all these tendrils. It's kind of like...
Yeah, I would definitely be trying to wait till it seems to have settled a little, but... And then I would just go to another one that's nearby and start to work on that with my scimitar till it starts getting upset.
Just
So you're able to
go
find
in, hack it off, and move away. It should work. It should work. These aren't carnivorous plants, so I don't. Yeah, no. Yeah.
You know, where I am from, they have a bull. It is not a carnivorous animal, but it will kill you.
That's fair. So, yeah, get in, get out. We can do this. But let's just get one. Let's just get one tendril. I think maybe my original plan of 2 or 3 might have been a little bit lofty.
Silk Ilk nods and starts to move towards a plant nearby that isn't agitated yet. Still keeping her eyes on that previous tendril as she's starting to cut with the scimitar.
Yeah, there's another one of these massive spires about 30 feet away.
Awesome. Anyone who watches her can tell she's very graceful, very dexterous, and fast as with how she uses her weapon, and she just almost like a chainsaw, just kind of spinning it round fast as strikes.
And so you strike at this more dormant one of its roots?
Yeah.
All right. Immediately as your... how much damage does your scimitar do?
4 points per hit.
Yeah, so you're able to put a massive kind of gash in this root, and immediately this yabna plant just begins to uproot itself, and these multiple roots immediately kind of reach out to smack at you. As the one that you struck immediately kind of pulls away and up into the main complex of this plant. And so I need you to make a speed defense roll, please.
Okay.
There.
I was trying to hold on to the root. Is it too strong and it yanks away too easily?
Okay, if you're hanging on to it. I'd like you to make a might task then, please,
Okay.
Alex. So this plant is going to be a level 4 plant, which means that you need to roll a 12 or less on your d20.
Wait, a 12 or less
12
or
or
12
less
or more?
or 12 or better?
Sorry, 12 or more. 12 or more, sorry.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
And does this count as wrestling?
Yes, this would count as wrestling.
Yes! I am good at wrestling!
Okay, without looking at my sheet, I got an 18 on the defense.
Oh, awesome, yeah, that's good enough.
Okay, so now I only need to get a 9 or better, right?
Correct.
Is there anything I can apply without using too much effort? Effort costs 3,
points. Yeah.
but I have an edge, so it would go down to 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to use 1 effort.
Cool, yeah, so now it's been down to 6. So 6 or higher.
I feel like that should be, man, I rolled a 19. I could have done nothing.
Yeah, so you're holding on to it fast. And as it retracts away, you're able to hold firm. And in fact, it actually severs it completely. The rest of it kind of trails up inside of the main structure of this plant. You're holding onto a squirming, about a 3-foot section of this thick root that's kind of like oozing this orange kind of liquid out of its severed stump.
All right, I'm going to hold it up so it can't ooze as well. And I'm going to okay, and now we run.
And then as these roots are lashing out at you, Silk, you're able to, duck out of the way, seeing these kind of vines snapping at you.
I imagine it's kind of a duck, a leap up somersault kind of deal.
From the sidelines, Grayson's all, "Come on!"
And I'm like, there, easy.
And so you run off with the severed 3-foot section of the Yubnub root, as well as making it decently unscathed. However, as you look behind you, you can kind of see it has completely uprooted itself, and it's beginning to follow you.
Oh.
Although at a very slow pace.
All right, Silk, you jump up and down. I'm going to run away.
And you can
Maybe we
tell
should-
just the way she's moving. She's actually retreating. She doesn't particularly run from a battle, but it hasn't actually hit her yet. So, and then right as they get back at Asen and the others, she'll say, "It's time to go. I think we can outpace it."
Yep, walking very fast the other way.
And so as the 4 of you are retreating, I'd like all of you to make a speed defense roll, please. Getting a 12 or higher.
But because I have a shield, it's only a 9 for me, right?
Yeah, absolutely. As this plant, it begins to tip, not away from you, but towards you, like a falling tree. Its blade side of this tooth down, like a giant, giant knife, falling towards you. All four of you. It just, this 50-foot long blade, essentially, kind of slicing down executioner style in your general direction.
I would definitely be positioning myself to be back to back with Grayson, so we each would get the +1 on the defense.
Yeah, can I use effort?
Absolutely,
Well,
I would hope that you put effort into this.
All of my points.
So
Goddamn.
moot point, because I rolled a 16. But had I rolled poorly, is what is it? Would having being trained in defense speed lower that as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually rolled a 12, so it didn't matter anyway.
And I
Okay.
rolled a 14, which is above my 9 target.
Awesome.
So I have to, with effort, I have to get a 9 or higher, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I rolled a 9.
All right, so
that
all
works,
of you, all of you are able to duck and kind of leap out of the way in time as this giant blade, essentially it's a blade, comes down and just shook, lands in this dust cloud of this orange kind of sand that this field is made of. Kind of begins making this kind of cloud in the air where it lands, and the roots and rivulets kind of squirm on its edge as it kind of grasps for the ground, and it begins to right itself up again.
Okay. Grayson, maybe it is my confusion, but when I said, will this be dangerous? This was the kind of thing I was asking about.
My books didn't say anything about chasing or grabbing. I'm going to have to make a note to myself and
Yes,
put
please.
some additional notes in my... Yeah. I am so sorry.
So, just kind of shakes it out, and you can see she's eyeing the plant and with her hand right at her veil, kind of waiting to see if we're able to get away or if we're gonna be forced to deal with this.
We're going, we're leaving, we're good guys, let's go.
This plant takes a long time to right itself back up, as it's very massive and very heavy. So it's like inching back up, like as it slowly begins to right itself. Gives you a lot of time to flee the scene and get out of its kind of way.
Okay, in that case, seeing how slow it's moving, so just on her heels goes, well, we should be on about our business. After all, pay doesn't last, and I need to get to that port city as soon as possible.
Well, wait, do we need just one? Because I can get another.
No, we're good, let's go.
We're good. Connor, around what time of day is it at this point?
It'd be very kind of early in the day, midday.
All right, we're okay then.
Essentially,
You want this, or should I hold it?
I mean, I can hold it if you like. I'm the kind of the plant guy, so is it still squirming around?
A little bit.
Silk just smiles and says, "Let the men feel useful."
Yes, I want to feel useful. I'll hold it for you.
Okay, that's so helpful. Thank you so much, I say, but I'm secretly super excited I don't have to hold the squirmy thing that's like spouting out frickin' nectar.
And as you're
Yay!
saying that, Todd, like your one glove or your one gauntlet or whatever is like coated in this like it's kind of sticky, this orange kind of like slime that's kind of been leaking out of the top of the top of the stump of the root.
Does it smell good or bad?
It's very impartial. It has a very fragrant smell to it, but of a kind of it would be something that many people would like or dislike.
Mm.
It's not like, oh, this smells fine. It's like someone would be like, oh, that smells nasty, or ooh, this smells really good, and nowhere in the middle. Kind of like how cilantro tastes.
Right. Grayson, is this edible?
Ooh,
Is it edible by humans?
Yes, by me, a human. Can
Oh
I
no,
use?
I'm asking Connor now. Like, is this edible by humans?
You can go ahead and make an intellect task to determine whether this plant is edible based on your knowledge of botany and such.
Just
Yeah,
roll the
Grace.
thing, huh? All right.
use your knowledge.
P.S. Dice tray,
So,
classing it up.
as a level
Oh, I
4
rolled a
plant-
3. This is
Oh.
great. So,
So as a level 4 plant, right, you take a 12 or lower, but you have skill in botany, right?
I do have skill in botany,
Yeah.
yes.
You have a book on botany?
I have a book on botany, but in order to utilize the asset of said book, I have to spend half an hour reading it.
Oh.
Well, I'm patient.
Which we'll assume, like, I guess it's up to these guys how much they trust me at this point.
Well, slightly
you-
less
You
than I
could
did before.
actually as we're walking, so that
You,
wouldn't.
you want me to read a book while we're walking? That's like texting and walking. I'm gonna like run into everything. Ah!
I mean,
Just
are you
follow
hungry?
behind me, little
So
one.
I'll tell Todd. I'm like, let's. I think so, but let me look into that real quick. Tome. I'm just gonna start.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I
even
don't
if you're-
know. This is the world of Numenera. Do I have like a fucking book tome? Do I have like a paperback, or do I have like a Kindle?
If
I
your
imagine this
book,
is almost like maybe even a book that you've written yourself, maybe, or that you've kind of. I don't know, what is this book like? It'd be kind of, it'd be paper and writing on it.
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say, if it's like an encyclopedia that has Yamna brutes, I'm gonna be furious. That tells all about.
So what kind of book is this?
Here we go. Ugh. I'm gonna pull out my tome
There we go.
and start reading while I'm walking,
So
and
is
I'll
the
let you
Pathfinder
know
Player's
in
Guide.
about half an hour. So,
And I imagine the whole time Silk's just kind of the hand on Grayson's shoulder, kind of like reading a blind man.
yeah.
So despite your encyclopedic tome in front of you,
I
you're not-
still rolled a fucking 3. Just
you're,
saying.
you're unsure whether this plant is actually edible or not for humans. So
I look back at Todd after I consult the book and say, Todd, I don't know if this is okay to eat or not, and I'm hoping I don't see like orange around his mouth at this point. Like
He's not learned, but he's not stupid.
yay. Like I probably wouldn't.
Silk just kind of looks and says, well, until we see a beast eat it and be okay, I wouldn't eat it. But most things, if the beast can eat it, we can do.
Well, do you want to take a taste? Because until somebody says for sure, I'm not going to risk it.
Nobody eat the roots.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I would not care to wager on that until I watch beasts eat it.
Okay. Just
No
because
one-
a beast, it's okay for a beast consumption, does not mean that it is okay for our consumption. Consumption means to eat.
Yeah, I figured. Context clues.
Good.
Silk kind of does a double take and goes, oh, he can learn. He wondered what the word context meant. Good job, Todd.
Thank you. I do my best.
Now, which way for that forest of tall trees, he called it?
I'm going to assume it's over there with the big trees.
I've learned to question everything.
Yeah,
Your
Todd just pointed
scouting
right to the
skills
forest.
are remarkable.
And so Ilk just kind of chuckles and she goes, No, Todd, it's past that. That's the small forest.
Oh, that's not small. I know what the word small means. That is a big tree.
So I guess we're going to begin our journey, our not a journey, our trek towards the border of the forest.
Yeah, and it takes about a day. You camp the night somewhere, as it
Oh
it's,
shit.
When we
As
go to
even-
camp, is it still wriggling?
it would have kind of stopped moving maybe a few hours into your journey.
Okay,
All right.
good.
Just for the sake of
wriggled less and less.
just for the sake of continuity, I'm going to say that when we stopped for camp, I'm going to use some of the supplies in my light tools to kind of suture off the top of it so that it stops leaking the nectar that we need fucking everywhere. So,
Awesome, yeah. Sounds good.
And how do we get back the points we spent from the camp? How does it work?
You can roll recovery rolls. Now, since you're going, basically a day is going to be passing, you're going to get all your recovery rolls back in the morning. So you can go ahead and use them all up. You have 4 recovery rolls you can use. Each one takes longer to use than the next one. They're on your character sheet. It's in 1 action, 10 minutes, an hour, and then like 8 hours.
10 hours.
10 hours, sure, yeah. You have to do them in the order that to use one, you roll it, you roll a d6, add your tier, which is 1, so 1d6 plus 1. That's how many points you get to recover. So you can just look through all 4 of them right now if you want, and get everything back, because you're going to get all 4
Oh,
back.
well, I have like -3, so
yeah,
I'd get all of them. Right?
Yeah, you can just get all.
I mean, I rolled the 6, so.
My thing says when I take damage, I can't heal it, but I didn't take any damage, right? I exerted effort, or is that the same thing?
They're the same thing.
So if any of our pools go to 0, do we like start dying?
Kind of. When your
what
pools
does
go to
that?
0, you have a kind of an impairment happen to you. You get worse at doing stuff. And it depends on which pools you lost. So if you lose all your speed, you move very slowly. If you lose all your might, you have other effects happen to you. I got the rulebook right here, sitting next to me, just in case it actually happens. But you only die when all 3 of your pools go down to 0.
Oh, okay.
And then if your might goes down to 0, all your damage that's being dealt to you is instead going to skip might and go to speed. If your speed is 0 and might 0, it's going to skip those 2 and go directly to intellect.
All right.
Right. So you do have 40 hit points or whatever to work with. So
is there a river nearby or a stream or something?
Yes.
I'm gonna say I have to go wash my hand. It's very sticky. So
Sure.
Goodbye. And he just walks off to the stream to wash off his hand, and also he's needs to fix up his servo a little bit.
And as you plunge your hand covered in this nectar into the water, it washes off fairly easily. But you can see the kind of the oily yellowness of it kind of streak in the water and flow downstream along with it. Kind of almost like polluting the water. You can see it very easily as it just spreads downstream.
oh, like a slick?
Yeah, it's like this little drift of yellow slick.
Ugh.
Well, as far as he knows, it's food, so some fish down there is gonna eat or something. He doesn't know.
But other than that, it's a fairly uneventful night. The many stars above, light the world, and the moon, with the green glow of the moon, since the moon is green in Numenera. It's not a white orb; it's green. It's covered in plant life. There's nice moonlight, kind of illuminates the area, and it's very tranquil. You hear the chirping and chorus of many nighttime animals as they sing the nightly songs. And the morning comes as quick as it left, the dawn breaking and many animals kind of chirping and doing their morning routines. And you're all back in the saddle, essentially, packing up camp, all refreshed and ready to go. And if you continue on your way, just to the forest that Binra kind of pointed you out to, you're fairly close by now, maybe 3 hours out, more.
So as we finish the last leg, I'll initiate the conversation for which creature do we want to try to bait first?
Why, the one that is most docile, because then it won't fight us as we try and get the others.
Serendipitously enough, that would be the Pinnivert who wants to eat the nectar.
Good.
So it just kind of thinks goes, well, even though it would be easy to catch, if we do have to fight, chances are it would run off. Unless someone's there trying to calm it.
Or, and I see this people do it, you get a leash and you put it around it so it cannot run away, and you put the leash on a tree. And then when we fight, it can't run. And then when we done fight, we take it back off the tree and we take it with us.
In nonsense, that should work if it's tied away from where we are.
And I think it also depends on the size of the beast, wouldn't you say? Like, if it's, a medium-sized beast, the leash would totally work. A small-sized beast, we could probably just put in, like, a sack for safekeeping as long as it can breathe.
Yes, definitely size is a factor. And it also depends on if we do have to fight how ferocious the other beasts are, and whether it's a predator of the type of creatures we've already captured or not. Nature is a very tricky thing. Some predators eat certain things and certain creatures, and
if we attract any predators, they'll be dealt with summarily. That's not what we're here for.
Bill just kind of smiles, says, but some of the beasts we are here for might be predators of these others.
Well, that would be fortuitous. Like, we'd be able to get both of them in one pop.
I don't think so. Doesn't one of them eat sweets, one of them eats a root, and one of them eats metal? None of them sound like they eat other creatures.
However, have you ever ate any of these creatures? Perhaps their flesh is sweet either.
It is true, preferences do not dictate diet per se, so it is possible that some of these creatures could be omnivorous. I look to Alex.
And I'm thinking
Eat meat and plants.
In particular, the glyph sounds like the one we need to worry about.
But all of that is speculation. We know nothing of these animals. That's why we're looking for them. So let's go, put the bait, sit around it, and wait.
Exactly. But I do think being aware of these possibilities would be good to keep in mind.
It's part of the
of
excitement
course.
of the hunt, right? This is what it's all about. The not knowing, the
Silk,
discovery.
Silk
And
would just
Grayson's
kind of
like physically bouncing.
Silk would kind of laugh, says, yes, although this isn't a proper hunt by my standards.
Grayson, you describe my life like a hunt then. I don't know anything.
You'll see. It's so exciting. It's so exciting to be part of making these discoveries.
I feed off your excitement. You're so happy, it makes me happy. Come, let us catch these animals. And Todd's just gonna walk over there because he's done talking.
And I think immediately Silk would be started to explore the terrain, watching for tracks, even though she's not familiar with these particular beasts. She
Did you say
has
traps or tracks?
tracks.
Okay.
Tracks. But she is familiar with the beasts of the Northlands and kind of how they work. So she probably could spot some similarities.
Yeah, and so as Todd just kind of crosses this threshold, stepping into the forest's boundaries, the scene kind of almost immediately changes for you, Todd. Before you had kind of like this open, kind of like grasslandy kind of area, and you step into this forest. It's purple with all the foliage of the various trees and other bushes and smaller plants. There's orange flowers blooming and purple leaves, and the light just barely able to penetrate the canopy. And this forest is pretty quiet. It's very silent, especially as you kind of as the conversation stops and you kind of listen. It's very, very, very quiet, except for the sound of the stream running and crashing over rocks and such. Off in the distance, the same stream that you guys had been following on the path, the same stream that you had washed your slick nectared hand into the evening prior.
This place is so beautiful. So, how do we catch things?
Well, typically the way it works is you set up the area that you want. It's called staging. You stage the area where you want to try to get the beast. Normally, we have more information and we have a better idea of where these different locations should be. Unfortunately, we know practically nothing about any of these things. So it's going to be a little trial and error.
The oak says, as by the stream, all beasts need to drink. And I would suggest using just a tiny bit of the bait at first.
Precisely. We don't want to put all of our eggs in a basket, so to speak.
Out.
We don't have any eggs. Were we supposed to bring eggs?
No, what?
Silk just shakes her head, goes, figure of speech to each Todd. But if we use a tiny bit and we do draw the creature out, we can observe it and learn what we are dealing with. And if it's not possible to capture it right at that moment, we still have most of the bait to try again.
All right, so let's find a nice place near the river where we can put some of that nectar around and sit by the side and let it sniff it out.
There are a couple of other factors. We want to make sure that we're downwind so that the creature doesn't pick up our scent while they go for the nectar. And I basically go over like all of these stalking animals 101
And
kind of things.
You actually see Silk doesn't pay attention to that. She just digs into the mud, starts smearing mud along some of the leaves of the nearby that she would recognize to kind of mask her smell.
So, okay, so 20 seconds into my spiel, I lost, like, everybody started glazing over. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to scrap some grass out of my boot.
I'm sorry, Grayson. Your explanation is too long. I cannot keep it all in my head.
Okay, basically, it's we'll set it up, we'll sit over there, and we wait.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
And
we look at
no.
prettiness of all of the nature.
Yes, Todd. And
Yes.
although you don't particularly smell quite as strong as the rest of us, but take some of these fragrant leaves and use some of this mud, and much like I did. It's been a
Or
while.
I could put the sticky stuff out of the root back on me, and then I'll smell very nice. And then maybe I go to the creature and I smell nice, and it says, "Ah, you smell nice. I will let you pick me up."
Grayson's
will
like,
try to eat you.
nope, that's a fine idea. Just don't use it all. Because in the back of her head, she's thinking, this is going to be hilarious.
Well, there's a 50-50 chance of success, so good enough for me.
So imagine this is kind of going on as you find a spot on the stream where it's like this kind of open embankment happening. It's a very kind of clear, open area. But there's like kind of a perimeter of bushes and trees they can kind of hide in at this river's edge. And so what do you set up in the center as bait first?
Todd?
Just put Todd in the center?
Yeah, I'll stand in the center. What am I doing? My headset died, so I missed like the last 2 minutes.
Okay, so everybody's standing off to the side. For the actual bait, sort of near the water's edge, I imagine that we probably would have gotten like some, like a fat leaf or similar, and smeared some of the nectar ooze out on, appealingly out onto the leaves. And then we're just gonna kind of leave it.
Yeah, a few smudges here and there.
And also, don't forget, Todd smeared himself in shit as well. So
Well, it's not shit. It's very good smelling nectar.
look, man.
It took it as she starts to head into the bushes and the trees, and settle in and make no sudden movements or noise.
Right, and I'll try and stand aside as well and stumble in on the few roots.
And when you see a critter who looks like who has shiny scales that are ripply with color, get it.
Yes, I will catch this thing with my sticky hands, and it will eat the stickiness off my hands, and it will be very happy.
Sure, yeah.
The important thing, Todd, is when you go to catch it, move slow. Beasts don't like sudden movements.
Oh, and be gentle. Gentle touch. We don't want to squish it like pancake,
I'm not stupid. I know how to handle animals.
Look, you're right.
I have a kitty cat, you know.
All right, just don't die, okay? Let's stand aside.
All right, so there's Todd in the center with the frond leaf that has a bunch of the stuff on it in the center, and the three of you are kind of hiding in the bushes.
Yeah, let's go with that. That sounds fine. Like Todd will just be there, one with the nectar.
All right. Jaren, what is Silk wearing on her head?
It is simply a cloth hood with a black veil, almost like a lace veil.
Okay. How about what is Minority wearing on their head? I think you're muted. Yeah.
I don't wear something. I just have a weird-looking pen-like thing on my ear, on my right ear, like a pen.
How about Grayson? What does Grayson wear on her head?
Absolutely nothing, sir. But I do have my hair back in like a ponytail. So
Okay. So as the three of you kind of like crouch down low and watching Todd, and he's like kind of like twiddling his thumbs or something silly in the center of it all, along with the farm leaf. Grayson, you feel something tug on the back of your head. Very brief, very almost gentle. And as you kind of go to feel it or turn around, you feel your hair come down out of its ponytail.
stop it. Stop it, Silk. Stop it.
Silk looks over from a couple feet away and whispers quietly, "Wasn't me."
I'm feeling now? What's back there?
Absolutely nothing, including there's no hairband that there was there before.
Damn, it's not funny, you guys.
Be quiet.
It's not funny.
What's wrong?
One of you guys took my hair thingy. It's not funny.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you know, never mind.
Todd, you see ripples in the stream as something swims upriver. From moment to moment, a small beak would protrude from the water, kind of like sniffing the air and then going back down to swim, and then sniffing, and then very cautiously at first, it would emerge onto the shore of the river. And as it kind of steps out, it kind of shakes and splatters the water off, and the water kind of goes flying. From the water, from the river, emerges a creature whose skin glints in the faint light of this forest's kind of light. This creature is what you see crawling out of the river. On these
Oh, there's a cute
6
little whatever it
spindly
is.
legs. It's about the size in Earth terms. It's about like the size of a wolf. As it's very cautiously kind of sniffing with its very small nostrils, kind of sniffing at the area where the nectar is. And with these long strides on these long limbs it has, it would slowly advance and start kind of licking the nectar that's on you, Todd, and on the leaf beside you, with this long, well, maybe foot-long, thin tongue it has that emerges from its beak.
I make small cooing noises at it.
It immediately kind of pauses and stops moving, looking around, from side to side, using the kind of the side of its eyes to peer as it stands completely still upon your noises.
I move very slowly to bring my other hand that is also covered in stuff close to it. Not like super close, but like 2 feet away.
As you slowly move, a voice yells out from the bushes, "Ha! Gotcha!" And boom! The sound of an explosion kind of happens. And this beam of blue energy is fired from the bushes, from the bush line, and just completely lands and kind of embeds itself into this creature next to you as it kind of gets shot almost back into the river as it kind of rolls around. And the blue energy, the sphere kind of expands with these like spider web like filaments of just pure energy and beginning to wrap itself around this creature, forming almost a cocoon around it. As two figures begin to step out of the bushes, one holding a large kind of launcher that kind of hums with this blue glow.
Grayson stands up. What in the actual fuck?
Todd stands up and says, "Yes, the fuck are you doing? This is my friend. You shot it."
As almost immediately as this started to react, you can see Silk's already drop on her weapon and then it's reaching for her L, and she's getting ready to drop it across her face.
And as this happens, as these two figures kind of emerge from the bushes, one kind of hacking at the undergrowth with a machete, followed by the man, wielding this large energy weapon. Yeah, well, we got to it first, he'd say, through many missing teeth. And we're gonna take a little bit of a bio break. Go have a smoke, have a drink, have a snack,
Awesome.
what have you. We'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Sounds good. Man! Oh, we're gonna have to kick their asses.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah, that's some sweet gear they have over there.
You're like, what you got there, buddy? That's awesome.
Okay, I'm back.
Didn't take much of a break there.
No, I can smoke at my
You're all like, I can smoke right here.
Exactly.
So
All I had to do was use the bathroom real quick. So, but if no one stops Silk, she's planning on killing these two rather quickly and hopefully in time to save the animal's life.
Hey, you do you, boo. I'm not to give all of our plans away. I'm actually planning to verily jump after the fucking blue orb.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a situation, but for Silk, it's not just as they came out of nowhere with weapons, and
Right?
they interrupted our hunt which to
Oh no, it's
they
deeper
don't-
than that. It's
yeah.
deeper than that. They were clearly following us and basically like they used us to go out the
Exactly.
creature. Like, fuck those guys.
But for like a clansman, you don't take a clansman's hunt or kill.
I imagine that I probably have experience with rival researchers and whatnot. It's kind of a thing.
Yeah, I imagine they're like poachers, and they basically used us to do the dirty work.
Yeah.
But it's definitely kind of a matter of honor with Silk as well.
Yeah. And I also figure being younger and a little more impetuous, impulsive, if you will, like you know, I wouldn't have been able to restrain, like just stood up, like what the hell.
Yeah. Oh, I was about to actually bail myself and leap out, but you kind of beat me to the punch there.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, but totally okay.
Sorry, Jared. I tend to get a little excitable.
Totally fine. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking kill take care of the threat, try to save the animal's life if it's not dead, and
Right? I mean, like, I don't even know if the orb thing they threw like was meant to do harm or like was like a pokeball, you know?
from what it looked like is
It sounded like it was meant to do harm.
it's meant to do a bit of harm, and then kind of stun them, and capture them, kind of deal.
I mean, at this point, all we can hope is that we can, you know, for me, all I'm hoping is that we can recover the orb, and that the creature is like mostly unharmed.
Yeah, at least alive.
At least alive.
Because he didn't say we couldn't bring him in up. He just said alive.
I mean, I kind of figured that implication was whole and hearty, but you know, it's a technicality.
Yeah, well, things happen when you're hunting beasts.
Not dead is a technical loophole.
Exactly.
All right.
But yeah, Silk's very much offended. They took her hand, and that's something you wouldn't do to a clansman on the hunt.
Yeah, I mean, fucking Team Rocket. Fuck these guys.
Yeah, so she's gonna deal
Yeah,
with
fucking
it.
Team Rocket. That's damn right. Fucking come here, take our
Exactly. That's
Take our
what they
boobs.
remind me of.
Bastards.
And kind of just sitting back laughing at us.
Team Rocket's at it again.
Yep.
Team Rocket's about to get its face
exactly.
punched in.
Question
Yep,
though. I mean, if it is Team Rocket, where's Meowth?
Well, you haven't. Maybe you know, maybe someone else is gonna pop out of the bushes.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But let's send them blasting off again.
Jesus, good thing we brought muscle.
Don't break their stuff.
Right,
Break
Todd, you
their
kicked their ass.
Jesus, but don't break
Kick
their
their ass, but
stuff.
don't break their stuff, because I want that.
No promises, but I'll try not to. Yeah, it's pretty interesting system. I'm starting to get the hang of it.
I mean, you know, we've only done a couple of like skills-based things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I definitely the biggest thing I love on the system is I love the sentence for your character with the description. that should be something used in like all RPGs as kind of just the base concept.
I mean, it definitely helps you build off of it. I mean, it was a little misleading because I was like, oh my God, is that it? You just come up with like a sentence for what you want your character to be? But no, you come up with a sentence for what you want your character to be, but the
The stuff
the
that goes
parts that
with
you fill in for the Mad Lib are very specific to what's happening here. So
yeah.
Yeah, but they are very cool.
they're cool.
I mean, I
They
control
cool
gravity.
and they give the general feel of the character.
Well, my big beef, like if we're being critical at all, like so, I mean, it's a great system, it's a great concept, but my critical thing is that the idea that I got in my head for what I wanted my character to be, none of the focuses fit with what I wanted to do. So I kind of felt like I had to pull a focus out of my butt, and I'm like, well, I'm just tagging this on.
So what kind of focus would you want to have had then?
I don't know, but like, I mean, I was going for something a little more nerdy or technical, but it seemed like most of the focuses were focused on like, battle prowess or what is it, or like superhero like traits.
Yeah.
And
That's kind of a
so I was like, screw it, I'll be a nerd with a bow. Who
Yeah.
cares?
Mine was a little hard because I wanted to take more than one focus because I have that bloodlust also. Oh, so I really wanted that like wield two weapons at once and rages. And murders.
Yeah, I was looking at wields two weapons also when I was
I
trying to
just
come
had
up.
to take like the one that fit the biggest part of my character.
I had the exact opposite experience. I went with I don't know what the fuck I want to do, and I read through stuff, and I was like, that looks cool. So what kind of character does that? And then I'm like, okay, this is my character. Here we go.
Yeah, overall, I'm enjoying it. I probably not one I would play all the time, but occasionally it would be nice change of pace.
I mean, I think I'd play this all the time, but I play most things all
And
the
I
time.
must say, so overall, Alex Todd is like my favorite character you played.
Really? Oh, that's high
Just
praise.
of
Thanks,
like
man.
how we're like treating him like an idiot.
And he does not mind. He is
Ooh.
well aware that he's not that smart.
And I'm curious. And I'm just gonna toss an idea out there. So you, Alex, your guy does something with magnetism.
No. The other guy does stuff with gravity.
Oh,
I control gravity.
gravity. Never mind. Damn it. It's like,
Yeah, I thought about picking something cool like that, but I wanted to go pretty simple because it was first time with the system.
Yeah, it's
And I'm using a character I already know, like her backstory. I already know kind of how she is.
I
well,
mean,
I have an idea for something that we can do for the metal eating creature that involves my Numenera.
Cool.
So
Well, we've got more pressing matters at hand. We've got some poachers.
Yes, we got
Sure.
poachers to kill.
I
Team
mean,
Rocket.
don't jump straight to kill, but yeah, that's probably what we're gonna get.
Oh, as soon as that bell crosses her face, she's killing. That's why I said started to draw the bell. That way, if you guys wanted them alive, you
I
could
mean, it might not be a terrible idea to try to shake them down and find out like who they work for.
listen. That thing he shot at the creature could be very useful for the other two.
I'm not
yeah,
disagreeing.
definitely want that stuff. But yeah, the first thing I would suggest happens is someone let Silk know they want him alive. Because she will fight without the veil being drawn.
Well, I mean, it's like first initial impressions. These guys are obviously after the same creature we're after. But why? Who sent them? Is there like, I mean, are they poachers? Does frickin' what's his bucket? What is his bucket?
Yeah, the Birna.
Binra. Does Binra have like a rival?
Could very well be. But yeah, I would imagine Grayson would be the one who would say something to Silk, and Silk would
Oh,
just kind of
you would
drop
think,
the veil
right?
and move.
You'd think, but Grayson's first instinct is going to be to jump after the fucking get the creature.
I mean, listen, if these guys are after the same prize as we are to get it to Binra, I'm not letting them go.
Yeah, I mean that's the nefarious third option, is that they're also working for Binra, and Binra just kind of like didn't want to like hedge his bets, like he just hired other teams.
Oh, definitely a possibility. But yeah, I'm ready to go. Oh, but players can, and your guys' characters would all know. Soon as that veil's up, she's in murder mode.
The female poacher kind of lets out a little spit into the ground below. Kind of walking up to you, Todd, kind of noting the fact that you're covered in this nectar. And that's one way to catch a beast. Hey, we could have thought of that one. And the other one is kind of like hefting his, his big energy barrel weapon he has. He's like, I think this is good enough. They kind of like, yeah, kind of do this weird laugh in unison. And then if you guys do not halt them, they start to continue kind of walking past you, Todd. Like,
I am definitely halting them.
The
I'll put a
first
sticky hand out on the guy's shoulder and say, "No, this is my friend, not yours."
Now looks like we got to him first.
No,
My first
you just shot him
instinct-
first. It had
my
already
first-
licked my hand. It is mine.
I'm lunging for the blue ball.
So the creature in the blue kind of cocoon is starting to, you actually see it starting to float down river.
I'm going after it.
Yeah, so lead to the water itself is about waist deep.
Super.
So kind of like wade or swim through it.
Super duper. I'm going for it.
Awesome. So since we're kind of in a kind of high action or high intensity scene here, we're gonna do an initiative roll. It's just a speed roll where you're trying to beat these people's level. They have a target number of 12 since they're level 4 creatures. So you just roll a speed roll, and if you get above a 12, you go before them, and if you get after a 12 or lower than a 12, you go after them. And yes, you can apply effort and all that stuff to this. So
I got 18. without
17.
even looking at my sheet.
I got a 12. Does that mean I made it?
yeah, it means you made it.
Okay.
I got a 19.
Awesome. So you all get to go first before these poachers. So
Yeah, Todd's gonna reach out and put his hand on the guy and be like, "No, this is not yours."
he kind of like takes a step back as you kind of push on him, and he's like looking you up. He's kind of like chewing on some leaf or whatever, kind of looking at you like, that was a bad idea, sir. He's kind of like hoisting his, energy gun, kind of aiming it towards you.
I'm gonna tackle him.
All right.
As soon as Silk sees this, the veiled strong cross her face, and she lets out a loud cry and says, "No, it was a bad idea to steal my hunt."
So for simplicity's sake, we're gonna have an actual initiative order here. So we'll go Todd, then Silk, then Grayson, then Minori. So Todd, you're doing your tackle on this dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrestle him.
All right, give me a wrestle roll. He got a target number of 12 for this guy.
But I'm trained in wrestling, so it's only a 9.
Absolutely.
All right, good. I got an 11.
Awesome. So you're able to go ahead and describe what the heck you did to this guy.
So he starts taking out his gun, and I just smack his gun up, grab his shoulder, and slam him to the ground. Well, do I how much can I do here?
As much as that a wrestling would allow.
Well, I slam him to the ground, and then push him on his chest, and then just kind of kneel on his the small of his back.
Awesome. Yeah. So you have him pinned in the kind of the dirt. He's kind of spitting out clumps of foliage and moss from this kind of dank ground floor here. Silk, you've kind of leapt from the bushes. What do you want to do?
She has her spear and scimitar in hand, and she's booking it towards both the poachers, going for the female first. And she's pretty much just gonna straight attack. Her eyes are glowing red, and she means to kill him.
Yeah, and so as you leap from the bushes with your weapons drawn, this female poacher, she has a kind of a look of worry and then of confidence as she kind of reaches for her hip and pulls out a strange looking weapon. It's got this blade on one end that hums with an electricity, and then the other end is kind of this longer barrel. Looks like it can launch something, perhaps. So she has a target number of 12 if you're trying to attack her.
Okay, and because I'm trained with the weapons, and I believe it allows me to actually make 2 attacks.
Yeah, as your focus, you get to make 2 attacks.
So a 13 and a 15.
So 13 and 15 both hit. Yeah.
That will actually be 8 points.
So with these 2 slashes, you cut her, and it wounds her severely, but does not drop her entirely.
And then she would just kind of be spinning around and kind of brings both weapons up and across in front of her, waiting to kind of defend.
Grayson, you hopped into the stream.
Grayson's getting wet. Grayson's hopping into the stream. I'm just I'm freaking focused, tunnel visioned on getting this blue the blue cocoon, getting the creature.
Yeah, awesome.
And getting the creature and seeing if it's alive.
You see that the river ends in a waterfall about 20 or 30 feet from here, and so time's definitely ticking, and you think that you can maybe make it to this cocoon if you really hustle and really put your effort into this. And so you'll need to make, if you want to make it in this turn, you want to make a speed task to swim, and this will be a level 3 task, which means you have to get a 9 or higher on the die.
Super duper. Okay,
Put some effort into that if you want.
And so since my my edge is in speed, that lowers it, right?
Edge lowers the cost for you to use effort.
Right. So
Yeah.
it'll be 2 points instead of 3.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Which lowers it to what?
To a 6 target number.
Okay. Not 6 times 3, like 6.
Yeah, 6. Yeah, you rolled 6 or higher.
Okay, that's fine. That'll do. That is a 8.
That's
so
just good enough, and thankfully you put the
fucking
effort in.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're able to grab onto this kind of energy cocoon of blue shimmering light that's surrounding this creature, and you can kind of feel it squirm underneath this weird tethering.
Alive!
It's alive. It kind of zaps and shocks you as you touch it. It'll do 1 point of damage to you that ignores armor.
Ow,
as you kind of
fucking
grasp
now.
onto it. But you have it now, and you're able to kind of roll out and perhaps make it to the edge of the stream.
Yeah,
grabbing
trying
onto
to get the fuck out of Dodge.
yeah,
like
you're able to
out
grab
of the
onto a log or a branch that's hanging down, and you're able to stymie your progress towards the waterfall for now, at least.
Okie dokes. Now go over this with me real quick. So that's 2 out of my speed pool and 1 out of my might.
Correct.
Hey. All right. Thank you.
And Minori, it is your turn.
So I saw Silk run up and stab that girl 2 times.
Yep.
Is she like okay, dying?
She seems definitely injured from it, but still standing. You saw that she has some interesting kind of shimmering of force fields kind of generated above her skin to kind of block some of the blows that Silk dealt. Kind of having she has like some kind of innate, force field ability, perhaps.
All right, I will use onslaught on her. I will step into the clearing and point at her. And am I trained at Esoteris as a nano?
No, not at tier 1, no.
All right, so I'll use an effort for to lower the difficulty of hitting her.
Sure, yeah.
Um,
Do you want a 9 or lower?
yeah, so 1, 2.
Just a 9 or higher, sorry.
Yeah. I rolled a 5. So this wave like invisible force streaks right past her and rustles the waters of the river a bit. Damn it.
Immediately afterwards, she kind of regains her balance and would slash at you, Silk, twice. Once with the kind of the bladed end of her weapon, the other kind of pointing at you point blank and launching some kind of ballistic projectile from its end. So you'll need to make 2 speed defense rolls, please, Jaren, for Silk. And both of them are at a target number of 12.
Okay.
And if you have any training in speed defense, this would.
I actually do. I'm trained in all speed defense tasks.
Awesome, yeah. So these are reduced down to a target number of 9 for you instead of 12.
Okay. I think okay, that won't help. That is a 10 and a 15.
So both of those, you're able to dodge these 2 attacks unharmed.
And I actually did have one question that might affect everyone's stuff. I noticed when I made the character, we had minor effects and major effects. With our focuses and I didn't see anywhere on how those were used.
Okay, so it's pretty simple. A major effect is something that you get to do when you roll a natural 20.
Okay.
On any roll, you could do a major effect. And it's not limited to what it says. Those things that were on the PDFs and stuff were
Yeah.
major effect suggestions.
Yeah,
So
I
they're like
took
ideas
the
for stuff.
suggestions.
Yeah. But they don't like they're totally very situational, and honestly the situation might call for a different major effect depending on what you're actually trying to do. And a
Okay.
minor effect is like a major effect, but minor. It's kind of a small bonus instead of a huge bonus. And it
So,
happens on a 19 instead of a 20.
okay, so 19 or 20.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the main thing I needed to know.
Yeah. And the natural 1 is like the opposite. It's called a GM intrusion. Whenever someone rolls a natural 1 on a task, I get to basically do a major effect to tilt the battle or tilt the scene in a new and interesting and more dramatic direction, kind of adding a little more difficulty to it.
Nice.
Awesome. So Todd, you're kind of point blank with this kind of blue humming energy weapon wielding poacher. He kind of like flicks a switch and it hums, and he launches this net essentially of blue force at you. I'll need you to make a speed defense roll, please, Todd, to dodge this net of energy. It'd be a task of 12 or higher, but you can use any kind of assets or skills to lower it.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, Todd.
I'm sorry, I must have missed the first part of what you said.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, he's shooting his gun at you. The energy weapon net thing.
How? He is pinned.
Oh, right. I totally forgot. Sorry. Holy crap, I'm a bad DM. Yes, he's pinned on the ground. Wow, I can't believe I did that. Okay, yeah, so he's gonna try and like struggle to break free of this grapple that you've put on him. And so we're gonna do another wrestling roll, please.
Target is 9 still?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I got a 4.
So he's able to break free. Somehow I don't know, maybe like kicks you. I mentioned he kind of kicks you in like the knee or something, putting you off balance. But he's
Well,
able to
what
kind of
actually
like
happened was I got distracted by the fact that his sister got cut and then suddenly is shooting a gun.
yeah, so between all that, he's able to slip out from underneath you. And then, he clambers for his energy weapon that's kind of in the dirt, kind of beside him, lifts it up, flicks a switch, and it starts to hum. There we go. That's how it works. And then that brings us to Todd. What do you want to do?
Good, Todd. Todd is going to try and bash him by punching him right in the chest.
Awesome, yeah. So the target number of 12.
I don't think I'm actually trained in punching people. I'm only trained in wrestling people.
Correct. Yeah, training and attacks comes later at higher tiers.
Okay, well, I am going to use one effort,
Cool.
which will cost 3, and I'm bashing, which costs 1, but I have an edge, so it only costs 3.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Good job with the maths.
I only have to get a 9.
Yep.
But I got a 19.
So you get a minor effect as well as also hitting him. So
Could I have bashed him and then I take his gun away from him?
yes.
Good. So he's bashed. He is stunned.
Stunned means he misses his turn. How much damage does he take
He
from your
takes
punch?
3 damage. He's dazed for 1 round, and all tasks are modified by 1 to his detriment.
Oh wow, okay. So he's much easier to punch from now for that turn. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Brings us to Silk.
I need to take away 3 of my might.
Okay. Silk is gonna go off. First with 2 attacks.
Yeah, it's still target number of 12 on this woman.
Yeah. I'm looking for something here real quick. Okay. So so I am going to spend 2 might I to use rest with each of my attacks, which gives me an additional damage for each weapon because they both have points or are sharp.
All right.
Whoa! Get back, Teddy, Tony. Ooh, naturally.
So a natural
A-
20 gives you a major effect.
And a 14.
The 14 hits.
So if I don't kill my major effects, an immediate additional attack with one weapon.
So between your two attacks, because
Oh,
you said you're thrusting,
Yeah,
you're going to kill
that's
her,
10 damage right there.
but you still get to use your major effect. What do you want to do for your major effect?
So for my major effect, I imagine I would go ahead keep the additional attack, but I would spin around and aim towards the guy who just stood up and retrieved his gun.
Yep.
If that's allowed.
Yeah, totally. This guy has a target number of 9 instead of 12 because he's dazed from Todd's slam and punch.
Nice. That will be a 10.
It also hits.
So that will do 4 damage on him.
So you can describe how like this whole scene went down with like you dispatching the woman and then also coming down on the other one.
Okay, so I imagine she cuts a light gash with the and then just stabs her right in the heart with the spear, with Raza. Just almost a whirling dervish style spin, and over towards this man. And I imagine her intent was actually to injure the arm to make him drop the gun. But I imagine she just kind of sliced right into his neck, almost decapitating him.
Oh, he doesn't have the gun. But I don't think that matters.
And then she
Oh.
just looking towards her companions, her eyes are still glowing red. And then she's tensed for battle.
Yeah, and this.
Wait,
this
did the guy die
puncher-
too?
No, the guy's still alive. He kind of like
Okay.
reaches up to the wound on his shoulder, kind of like going like and kind of like fumbling down at his belt, fumbling out his belt to pull out a smaller looking knife, kind of a dagger, hunting knife kind of thing. But Grayson, it is your turn. You are kind of hanging onto this branch, kind of floating in the river, clutching onto this kind of energy cocoon of a creature. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna pull us to shore. How big is the cocoon? Like,
So it is encapsulating a wolf-sized creature. So it is,
so wolf-sized?
yeah, it's pretty dang wolf-sized. Yeah.
All right. Luckily, Grayson has climbing as her flex skill for the day, so I don't know if that's going to help
It would
anything.
definitely help. And so normally there'll be a difficulty of like a target number of 9 or higher, but with your skill, it could be a 6 or higher to get on shore, dragging this orb with you.
All right. Survey says 12.
Nice. You make it onto shore, dragging this cocoon with you. That's encapsulating this creature.
Holding the encapsulated creature and whatnot, like all of this during the entire ordeal. Does it seem pretty secure? secured in the bundle?
It seems like it's being wrapped. Like the creature itself is wrapped entirely by it.
Okay, but the cocoon seems pretty secure. Like this
Yes.
guy's wiggling, he's clearly alive, but
He's wiggling. He's kind of kicking about, but the
he's
cocoon
pretty
is
well
holding fast.
mummified.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. As soon as I get up onto shore, I'm going to I'll just kind of like set him down on the shore and stand up to see what's going on.
Yeah, and you see your three companions kind of in this melee skirmish. One of the poachers has dropped. The other one is, clutching at a bleeding shoulder wound, and it just has a little knife. Where Todd is holding his cool blue, blue glow energy weapon, shenanigans. So it looks
Okay.
pretty much in your companion's favor at this point.
And I'm guessing I'm not able to do anything else.
No, I'd say that'd be your turn.
Yeah.
Between dragging the heavy 100
A
and
lot
some
happened.
cans. Yeah.
Yeah.
That brings us to Minori.
I'll yell to Todd, "Don't break it!" And I'll throw an onslaught towards the guy. Just a normal onslaught.
Yeah, so target number of 9.
That's a 4.
And again, your wave of invisible force, goes a little bit too wide, and you rustle some tree branches to no effect.
And to everyone else, it looks like I'm pointing like my finger like a gun and doing this without anything happening.
Dory, watch where you aimed at. Last time you hit me, I nearly met the moon.
I know, I'm trying.
The poacher, still standing, kind of glances down at his dying or dead companion who's on the ground, bleeding out from the many stab wounds and cut wounds that Silk has given her. He's kind of like clutching at his neck wound, and he starts to, he raises his hand in surrender. Please, no more. I can't. Please don't hurt me. Kind of like raising both his hands. I surrender.
That is good, because then you do not die.
I'll go over to
Yeah, just
take the
start
gun.
singing.
Yeah, at which point in time, Todd will start singing. Because
Okay.
that's the only thing that makes Silk stop murdering people.
It still takes her a couple seconds, so I imagine she actually comes up with like the hilt of her scimitar and kind of goes to strike at the man, and then right as she's about to hit, she hits the song and kind of pulls back, starts to reach for her veil and drops her veil.
Todd pushes the gun into Minori's hand and then moves to disarm the man.
Seeing that the skirmish is pretty much over and the surrender and whatnot, like I'll also panicking join into the song and pick up the wolf cocoon and come back over, walk back up the bank.
Now that
Binra,
you're singing, Todd is gonna stop and say, "Grayson, do you know medicine? I believe this woman will die without treatment."
I know bandages, but not really medicine.
Well, it will have to do. If you do nothing, she will die. If you mess it up, she will die.
I have nothing. So, I mean, like, I can give it a go.
I have faith in you. You can do this.
Silk just looks at the lady at her feet and watching, knowing kind of where the wounds are, knowing her weapons. She goes, unless you're good with those bandages, she's already dead. But thank you for cleaning or singing the song to call me. I would have hated to kill all of you.
The poacher gestures to his satchel on his side. He's kind of pointing at it without really moving his hands that much, kind of gesturing to it like, I've got medicine in my bag. Just please, I gotta help her.
Yes, you will help her, but keep in mind, in the ill intent, and I will crush your head like a melon.
I'll look in the satchel. What have we got?
No, Grayson, he can do it. He knows what he is doing. He will not
Fair.
betray us. He is not stupid.
And then this is going to Silk would look at Todd, says, crush his head like a melon. I go, and then she goes, but see, I dropped one.
Yes, you're
Almost
very good at murder. Congratulations.
almost as if it's kind of like an ongoing contest between them.
I'll go
will
and
back off and let the guy do what he's got to do.
I'll grab
So-
his gun.
Yeah, his gun is already in the hands of Todd.
I know, I gave it to Minori.
Oh, that's right. So this poacher, he kind of drops his knees and reaches into his satchel. He grabs this like long, kind of maybe 8-inch long capsule. It has this kind of green fluid in it. Kind of gives it a shake, the same way you kind of would shake a glow stick, maybe. And then over the woman's mouth, he kind of breaks it and snaps it, and the green fluid kind of drips out onto her face, and then he kind of moves it, and then it goes into her mouth. And as it does so, there's these little green specks of light that appear over her various wounds and cuts. And you can see her wounds actually stitched together before your eyes by these green filaments that appear and close and tie the wounds together. And he's clutching at her head, kind of like cradling it and kind of clapping her cheek a little bit to get her to wake up a bit. Like, come on, Isabella, you're gonna be okay. Come on, just hang in there. He's kind of whispering to her in kind of hushed tones.
I'll lean in. Will she be all right? What are you doing here?
We could ask you the same. Just
Aye, you could ask us the same. But we did not pull guns on you.
okay, you're the one that started it.
No, you pointed the gun at me, and I punched you in the chest. I
Okay,
feel like maybe you did worse.
Were you following us?
No, we're following that damn beast over there. Kind of like gesturing to the cocoon you have near you of that creature.
I stand in front of it protectively.
And what would you want with it?
Its glands fetch a pretty price on the market.
How rare is it?
The nobles up in Osper, they love it for its restorative properties or whatever. Makes their skin look 10 years younger or something. I don't know. Fetches a pretty penny, and they can only be found here. So, me and my sis, we've been making a living hunting these conniverts, sell them up to sell their glands up in Osper. Making a good deal.
So-
but
Elk would give him almost a death glare, and looks at his sister, says, your hunt's over for the next day or two. Let us complete our task and we'll be gone, and then you can do what you do.
Friends, sure, this
I-
ended with started with violence. But now that we're not fighting, we can be friends again. Look, your sister is not dead. We definitely could have killed you too.
I
So
can't get
we
on board
kinda-
with people killing the animals for just straight up profit and harvesting them, though. Like,
That's what hunters do.
oh. La 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 la.
Yeah.
Earmuffs.
Here's the thing. You can't go back to whatever you're doing, but your sister's gonna need some time before she's fine. How about we maybe catch another one for you if you let us keep hold of this weapon for the rest of our mission, then we'll get it back to you.
You know that thing's got a tracker in it, right? I can find that thing wherever it goes. So if you're lying, me and my sister will come hunt you down.
Our intention isn't to take over your territory. Our intention is to procure some living specimens.
Yeah, maybe we, let this one go towards your direction after we're done. But in the name of science, we are looking for a couple of beasts around here for research.
How about you take that one there that you're so desperately willing to fight over, and you give me my gun back, and we'll call that a fair trade.
How about this? You help us get the other two we need to find. And then we say, look, we have helped each other, we are friends, and then I can say, I give you this gun because we are friends. If
No,
you're not
that's
my
a-
friend, I will not give you a gun, because then you will shoot me.
Is there a bit of coin in this too?
I have very little money, but I will give you some, I suppose.
I mean, like I normally don't make decisions like this without my sis, but
Well, will she be alright? I am willing to wait a little bit of time.
with that, her eyelids kind of flutter a bit open, and she kind of coughs, and it's kind of like mucus and whatever kind of coughs, and she coughs it up, and it's coupled with this like green slime and stuff, and she kind of comes to, gasping for air and coming to a sitting position, and
Does she look in pain?
no, she looks to be as if she just kind of woke up from a long sleep. And the two immediately kind of like talk, and the brother make sure that she's all right and blah blah blah. And eventually the two get up, and they're both completely kind of physically capable at this point. The brother had put a little bit of the green slime a bit on his shoulder wound to have it and it close as well. And the sister Isabella, she said, heard what my brother said, and yeah, we'll join you.
Ah, good, see? Now we have friends! Much better than killing. I guess, Silk, that brings you back to 0, add me up to 2.
No. I said up to the 1 to your none.
No, you have 0 kills and I have 2 friends.
She kind of chuckles, goes, "You have a strange way in combat."
Yeah, I am trying to make friends on the battlefield. It's very strange, I know.
She just looks at these two. Oh, I believe your brother called you Isabella. Be glad he had medicine for you.
We always have a bunch, before we head out. It saved our lives multiple times.
Good idea. And trust me when I say, if you do not keep to your end of the bargain, you have seen nothing of what I can do yet.
Calm down, Silk.
Sir.
Sir.
She's not mad, but she is very serious in making it a point that their lives are forfeit if they misbehave.
Tell me, how does this contraption work that's around the beast? Will it
Would I
be
have-
will it live?
Oh yeah, it's able to live. It's able to breathe just fine through that.
I wanted to sit and take a look at see how that gun they have, how it works.
So the gun itself, it's pretty basic to kind of figure out. With your skill in Numenera, you're able to actually bring it down to a routine task to figure it out. So no roll is required. It's a very simple. It's just like a point and shoot kind of contraption. It's an artifact, which means you can use it multiple times, rather than it being a cipher, which is one use only. And you just charge it up, point it, shoot it, and it launches this little orb of kind of force. Solidified light is actually what it's launching. You can know from your kind of nano background. And as the solidified light kind of expands, it'll wrap around the creature and encase it in solid light that lets air and whatever pass through it, but doesn't let it move very easily.
And this solidified light, how long does it last?
And the woman would kind of chime up and say, "It lasts as long until the creature's knocked out."
Oh. All right,
Slowly
then.
puts it to sleep. I don't know how it works. It just does.
Sure. So, how big and chunky does this thing is? Is it like a
this creature?
big gun? No, the gun. How?
Oh, the
how...
gun. Yeah, it's massive. You got to hold it in two hands. Trying to think of a good comparison. Like the size of a broom, kind of in length.
Yeah.
It was fairly heavy, maybe like 80 pounds.
Okay. I'll hold on to it for now. And we'll as we're sitting right here, we'll fill them up with for the other two creatures we're looking for. The little we know before we continue.
And I think that like when you mentioned the glyph, immediately they both kind of like look to each other, kind of almost like worried glances, or like, did they really say glyph? Kind of glances to each other, and then Isabella would say, "Wait, did you say glyph? You're out here for a glyph?"
I think so. I think that's what he called it.
He referred to it as a glyph, a heavily armored creature. You look quite apprehensive.
Yeah, heavily armored is it's a very light way of putting it. Yeah. That thing is a death machine.
Oh.
Okay then.
It'll turn you into mincemeat if you're not careful enough. We steer clear of it. You can easily tell what its territory is by the scratchings on the trees.
I'm like,
out here, there's no scratching marks here, so we're safe.
How big would you say it is?
2 people tall.
Oh.
Welp,
Well, we're gonna catch one of those.
Grayson,
And
even if we
Tyler.
can catch this, how can we bring it to him? How will he keep it? It will kill him.
that's not our problem. He said deliver. He didn't say teach me how to contain.
I
have
don't know. It seems
absolute-
irresponsible.
I trust him.
feel like he's already got a plan.
Yeah. He looks like a man with a plan. Yeah.
I don't know if his plan will work, but again, that's not something that we should be considering.
Yeah. We shouldn't meddle in other people's affairs. He has his plans. We just do our job.
Our job is just find the creatures, catch the creatures, and get the creatures back. So I would say a larger conundrum would be, how do we get the creature back?
Huh. This gun, it will do it or no?
A glyph? I don't know. Like, might break through it.
Might
I've
need
never
to.
tried it. It's a death
What
wish.
if it's sleeping?
Territory.
What if it's sleeping though?
My glyph never sleeps.
Oh,
What the fuck?
Not
Are
the
you
glyph,
sure?
the creature. Does the creature sleep? I don't know.
So
You're talking about the glyph, right? The big death beast?
Yeah, it does not sleep. Are you sure?
Yeah. Oh,
Oh.
sorry.
There's no reason for it to.
So it's a death beast that doesn't sleep.
No, it doesn't eat. It doesn't sleep, and it eats everything it comes across.
so
Huh.
how about we leave that for last, right?
Upon hearing this, it's the first time ever you see Silk look scared. She goes, no, they can't be this far south.
Let's just worry about that for last, okay? Let's just deal with the candy and the other one first.
Yeah. How about the tiny candy eater? Let's.
Yeah.
Woo. That sounds like a good next
Silk
place to go.
Reynard says, yes, and then I suggest we return the two. Oh, and maybe take what we get and leave
Yeah, I mean,
that
yeah,
beast alone.
you're right. I mean,
If it's what
he
I
said
feel
100
that-
for each of them, right? So we don't have to bring all three of them if we can't.
He said
Yes.
100 each?
God
Yeah,
damn
you
it, you
get a
guys.
cut of-
What the hell are we doing selling glands for? Just bring them to this guy for 100 each.
Don't
But
don't
this
kill
is-
the
this is-
creatures for their parts. Keep
No,
them
this
is-
whole and sell them to researchers. Researchers pay more.
We get like
But
15
listen-
each for a connivert.
no, listen.
100?
Silk,
It's a first, it's a living thing, and second, it's a one-time deal. Okay, he doesn't
Oh.
need 100 of them.
Still, 100's a lot. That's a lot of shins.
Silk is obviously very upset at
It's
Uh,
very hard, to bring a living one.
she says, if this beast is what I fear it is, it's been known to kill entire clans and people like me.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Well,
It's nasty.
I don't think we would be enough.
I mean, we have a pretty big team right now, right?
well, if it kills an entire clan of her, then I don't think this man. We can bring it to him, but I don't think he'll be able to handle it. It will kill him and all the people in the city. We will not catch this thing. I will not help you. We
How
bring it-
about we lure it to the village?
And so it will kill them. No, I will not help you with
No.
this.
I mean, lure it to Binran's door, right?
And then it will kill all the people in the village. I will not help you with this.
What if we give it a lot of metal to eat, so it won't be hungry?
No, too dangerous. We don't know enough about it.
Well, let's go deal with the other one first then, anyway.
What is Todd wearing on his head?
Todd is wearing a helmet on his head.
Okay. As the four of you are, or the six of you, kind of discussing the plan of attack, Minori, you feel a tug above one of your ears as the device you keep up there is removed.
I'll just
Yeah.
raise my hand and check.
And it's gone.
I'm gonna look around. Is there anything, any above us on branches? Anything?
No, you can't see anything at all. No. You could give. You kind of give me an intellect task if you really want to search, maybe with some effort, if you really want to scan the trees and the
I'll just
the tree line for it. But
yeah, I'll do an intellect check trying to see any movement. around. I got a 9.
Are you putting any effort into this or no?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. With a 9, you don't see any movement at all. What you would notice, however, is a faint kind of like chirping sound, kind of coming from essentially not all around you, from an indistinguishable location. You hear that very faint hoot 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 hoot.
Is
I'll-
Minora? Is that your name?
Minori, yeah.
What are you doing? So I imagine that suddenly Minori started just like froze and just started looking around like a cat who heard a sound or whatever, like looking at the ground, looking up. Like what are you doing?
I'm missing something.
Oh,
I
did
look
you
at
lose it in the scuffle?
No. I look at the hunters and ask them. Do you sometimes lose things around here?
No. I'm not even thinking of my hair tie at this point. So much has happened. No.
God damn it! I'll start looking at the ground around me, rustling the leaves, trying to see if it fell around there.
Something falls kind of in the leaves as you kind of search for them. A small kind of circular band kind of falls in the leaves in front of you. It's Grayson's hair tie. It's got these. It's all like ratty in one section, as if something tried to bite through it and chewing on it.
No way!
It's kind of
I
like
found your hair tie.
it's kind of all like coated in, and kind of like soaked with like saliva and stuff. It's all very wet and soggy.
Oh, thanks. Why is it all gooey?
It's not mine.
Oh.
I look at above from where it fell. There's nothing.
So something takes
seen
your
that.
hairband and drops it, and something takes your earring. Maybe it will drop it. Oh, I know. We should feed it. Give me one of your candies.
Well, here. I'll give him a small piece of candy.
I'm gonna hold it straight above me. Come take this candy. Creature in the forest. Here you go.
That's so not gonna work.
And like immediately, as if it was just like a sick twist of irony, the candy is just snatched from your hands, as if by the wind. Maybe it's like nothing grabbed it, but like the candy's gone, and you hear a kind of a little hoot, 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 hoot sound,
Gravity jaw.
just kind of in the canopy above you.
Oh, you like that little creature?
What creature?
Holy shit, that worked!
I don't know. Some little creature. I could not see it. It was too fast, or maybe it is invisible.
I'll turn to our...
You should make a note of that. That's not common behavior for a beast.
Well, you don't know.
It's not, but I mean, beasts aren't really. I know a bit about beasts, but nothing about this one.
I would say just make a note of the behavior, maybe under some question marks or something, and for the reference, in case we learn more.
Do you think it will take more candy? Should we make like a trail of candy into a trap?
Perhaps if we want to, it does. We are hunting for one that likes sweets, so perhaps
I'll ask.
this is it.
I'll ask the hunters. Do you know any creature that could do that?
Yeah, it's the Trelink, of course. Nasty
Oh,
pest.
nice.
Always getting in all your stuff. You gotta tie things and lock them up in these parts. And you lose clothing, they'll snatch right up.
Fuck.
So yes, we should definitely set a trap then, since it's the creature we're looking for.
And Todd, as you kind of like, still kind of mouth agape at your hand with a candy that's vanished from it,
No, I completely. That's expected. That's what I wanted to see.
as you're kind of like looking at your empty hand, this kind of device falls from the canopy above, kind of hitting you maybe on the shoulder or something. It's the device that Minori had, but it's been snapped in half, and like the little bit of wiring in the center is still intact. And it's got all these like weird like nod and bite marks all along its surface.
I look at it and I'm like, Minori, your thing has been broken.
What did you do?
Me? I gave the creature some candy so it didn't eat it. You're welcome. I think you forgot to say thank you, but it is okay.
Just give it here.
I can see now why we are such good friends.
Minori, you feel a rustling in that bag of candies you kind of have, as if something's trying to like paw at it, perhaps. So you feel it kind of like get batted back and forth.
I'll try to immediately pull the cords to close it. Maybe grab it inside. The loose cords to pull it, and I'll say, "On me."
Right as this is going on, Silk's gonna do something that I never would have had her do, but she's gonna pull out her sphere and break it apart to try to get a look at this actual creature, since it's been moving so fast that they haven't been able to actually see it.
So yeah, use your screen of this cipher you have to kind of view a second view of your environments. But as Minori kind of closes the bag of the sweets, still kind of feels the jostling inside the bag, as well as a kind of sound. As there's something kind of heavier inside the bag.
Inside my bag?
No, inside the bag of candies.
Oh, okay.
He went into the candy bag.
I was gonna say, because I had the box of sweets too in my little backpack bag thing.
Yeah, the thing went for the bag of candies first, since they got a taste of them. What do you guys do?
Close
I'll,
your bag, quick!
We've got the creatures. We will put it in a
I'll
maybe
hold it.
with the gun. We'll shoot the bag with the gun, and then we'll
Don't-
take.
No. I'll lift it up. It's in the bag. It's fine.
It will chew through the bag.
The bag rips, and
Oh, fuck.
the bag, the bottom opens up of the bag as it rips, and no candies fall out. There's a bit of a movement in the leaves on the grass below, as you kind of see like kind of leaves being kicked up a little bit, and there's no more movement inside of the bag of the former bag of sweets that you had.
See, I am telling you, we should have got it with the gun.
And using the sphere, did I actually see the creature itself as it was moving around?
The sphere would be able to pick up a little bit of a creature. What's interesting is that to your eyes, it seems invisible. But in the faint kind of screen, you're able to see the blurred kind of its form. It's still transparent, but a little bit blurry or a little bit distorted where it is. And it's this tiny little form, tiny little creature, maybe the size of like your fist, that kind of like dropped out of the bag and is scampered away off into the
I
underbrush.
will point this out to my companions. That's what we're looking for.
I don't
However,
see anything.
yeah, I didn't see it with my physical eyes either.
Well,
Well, shit, how are we gonna get it back?
Well,
maybe
I
use the
have
box.
Yeah, I have the box of good of sweets, but they can shoot through a bag. And she looks at her backpack and shakes her head. And,
We'll do what Todd
it's
said.
not going in my backpack.
We'll get it in the box and then shoot the box.
Yes, I think we will have to. Or I think that's our only chance of capturing it.
And
Alright.
these poachers, you say, will not hurt them, correct?
So what was that?
Poachers, you say it will not hurt them, correct?
No, the Trelink? No, they're harmless. They're completely harmless.
No, the gun will not hurt the animals.
Again, no, it stings a little bit, sure, maybe. I don't know. I haven't tried it on ourselves.
Oh. Shoot me with the gun. I'll tell you what it feels like.
Oh,
There's no need for that. I'm sure it's fine.
Well, okay.
So Silk would pour out this box, and she would take one of the pastries and eat it herself, having never had cake.
It's
Right.
good, right? Like, seriously. It's good.
Interesting. And then she would kind of loosen some of the wrappers of the candy, drip some of the honey onto the box, leading into this big mess of sweets.
So I'll go over to the hunter and say, point at the gun and say, so how good are you with this?
No,
Could you
I'm pretty damn
maybe-
good if I don't say so myself. You know. See that
Could
rock
you,
over there? Kind of points off to a rock like on the other side of the stream, like a little tiny little rock. Yeah, I could hit it from here, easy peasy.
Silk
Yeah,
Nut
but
says, be ready
what
to
if-
pull the trigger at the box. Soon as the box starts moving and we hear that chomping noise that they make.
Yeah, I mean, what if that rock was invisible and going very fast? Could you hit it?
You're trying to capture one of these Trelinks?
Yeah, in the box. It will go in the
Ah.
box and you shoot the box.
Yeah, sounds good.
Good.
Been wanting to capture those pests myself for a mighty good time now here.
All right then. I'll gesture the gun towards him.
He kind of takes it slowly at first, and kind of like as he has it, and kind of gives you the nod, and he's kind of just checking it over, readjusting the dials to whatever setting they need to be at, and kind of like changing the kind of like rotating it around a little bit and giving it a little bit of heft, and like, oh yeah, there we go, back to business kind of thing.
So as soon as he's ready, Silk would kind of leave this half container of honey open right at the on the inside of the box with the sweets, and she would just step back away from the box and hopefully let the creature go eat, and we get it done.
And the box begins to kind of jostle around a little bit. It feels like within moments of you letting it be. Like it didn't take a long time at all. No waiting period. Just like, as you turn your back to it, essentially,
Cool.
it starts to kind of shake around a little bit.
As soon as I hear that, I say, now!
And then the poacher would like launch this orb. And as the orb connects with some invisible form, the creature, its body ripples in various hues of like greens and purples and yellows and oranges as it's being just struck by this orb of energy. And for a brief moment, you're able to see what it actually looks like before it gets completely encapsulated by the energy. It's this tiny little color-changing kind of amphibian creature with 6 limbs, long, gangly limbs. Probably no bigger than your fist in size.
Nice picture. I actually pictured something similar to like a lemur or a baboon.
Yeah, it was definitely acting very lemury.
And it's now kind of like struggling and squirming, and its many different hands are kind of like poking through the netting of the solidified light net that's been cast over it. But within moments, it's completely encapsulated, and it's like barely bigger than a ball, right? It's a very small ball at this point.
Todd's gonna walk over and pick it up and then make cooing noises at him, like, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay."
You can just hear the sound from inside of this little sphere.
I continue to just mutter nothing cooing noises at it to try and calm it down. Oh, it's okay. Do 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 do. What you say? Go do do do. It's okay.
Silk
Alright.
just kind of chuckles. Sound like Todd found him a soulmate. Anyway, let's get these two back to town and collect our money.
Todd walks over and picks out the 3 shins that he has left and tosses them to them. It's like, no hard feelings then, right?
Yeah, as long as I got my gun back, we're all good.
Okay. And you, remember, next time be more friendly and you don't get punched.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Like nods, kind of like gives you a little wave.
Bye, lady. Take care.
Kind of just gives you a sound.
You know, I think those guys were nice once you get to know them.
Okay.
I'm sure they're lovely. Hey Todd, can you I gesture to the wolf-sized thing. Can you
Right.
carry?
I am already carrying this one.
Oh, I'll trade you.
No, I like this one. It is cute.
But
Besides,
that one
Silk is so
isn't-
strong, remember? She talks about how much stronger she is than me. She can carry it.
Well, isn't that one your friend?
They're all my friends, my friend. You will learn this in time.
And
Everyone,
so
my friend.
Oak just kind of smiles, says, No, I never said stronger than you. I said I'm better at dropping people than you.
No, I distinctly
I
remember you
roll
said
my
you were better
eyes.
at
Never
everything.
mind. I've got this.
Can
And
I? I'll try to carry it. Can I lift it up?
It'd be
Oh.
pretty heavy, but if you were, 2 people, imagine maybe between Grayson and Minoria could easily carry it.
I mean, I can hover if I can carry it.
Oh, if you can, yeah. I mean, it's about what did I say earlier? About 80 pounds in weight. So
Yeah. How
like
much
a
can I
Big
carry?
dog.
I don't know. Math.
I mean, can I like hover that instead of myself, like while holding it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Using your powers of controlling gravity. Yeah, you could. Yeah, I'd allow that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Silk just kind of smiles, says, Besides, if they have their hands full and we run into problems, we need one of the fighters free.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I got you loud and clear. Heft.
so lead the way, Grayson. Since we're not getting the last one.
Yeah, okay. So I'll start leading us back.
And heading back to the town.
Yeah, I mean, best case scenario, we drop off these 2 and dude's happy. Worst case scenario, we drop off these 2 and then have to go back for the thing. But, then we've just got the one thing that we need to worry about if that's the case.
And I imagine not being familiar with this energy cocoon own, own stuff, Silk's setting a pretty good pace. Ace, and it's gonna push them pretty much to keep going until we hit town, unless we absolutely drop from exhaustion.
Yeah, so you're able to probably make it to town, like as nightfall's happening, and like everyone's heading to sleep, as like midnight kind of sets in. Would be when you're arriving in town from your march from the forest. And to be weary from all that walking and all that traveling, but Silk, pushes you on. The travel itself is very uneventful. It's kind of a well-traveled road, that particular one that you kind of merge back onto. So it's pretty safe. Besides those little bit domineering and leering, large yubnub roots plants that are tempting to come slicey at you. You steer clear of those and make it to town easily. So it's nighttime, and
I imagine we would go straight to Binra's.
Yeah.
And Silk would kind of bang on the door.
And he's kind of dressed in a kind of not quite a nightgown, but something more comfortable as he opens the door. Oh, it's you again! Oh, come in!
Hello, Binra, my friend. How are you doing?
It's good. Did you return successful? Kind of like peers trying to like see what the animals that you've brought in tow, and he doesn't see them. He just sees these weird orbs of light that you have.
Yeah, I'll hover it inside.
Where do you have to store tiny invisible creature?
Oh, I've got just a place. You got the Tralink? Huh,
Yeah, it's in this orb. The orb will fade away. I don't know when.
Oh, well, give it here then.
No, I don't want to give it to you. I want to
Why
put
not?
it in there myself.
All right. Follow me. Kind of like yawns. It's kind of getting late.
No, don't do that. You make goddamn glub blub.
And he kind of leads you down to this.
Tough it out, Todd. If I can do it, surely you should be able to at least one night without sleep.
Oh, sure, yeah. But I'm in the yawn.
He leads you to a chamber where he's set up multiple cages. They're very like fine mesh cages, with holes that are smaller than a pinprick.
Yeah, I can't follow him. I'll say, should I bring the other one as well?
Yeah. Come, bring them all. Yeah.
Well, we'll haul down the other one as well. And I'm super curious once we enter that room to see the size relations that he was estimating as far as these cages go.
And so he's got a plethora of cages in this room. It's almost this giant, like imagine like a dog pound where like just wall to wall all these cages. He's got this grand hallway of of these fine mesh cages. Some very small, like this big, and they're all kind of in a line. And some are bigger and even bigger still. And some of them are occupied with small creatures. One a little like a flitting little insect that kind of bounces around and kind of lands on the edge of the mesh and kind of wiggles its little antennae around. And there's another, a cage that has a bunch of little scampering creatures that, skid around and sniff at each other and kind of twiggle their noses a bit.
Sure. What size are the biggest cages? Just curious.
And it kind of leaves you, oh, that's my best creation yet. And at the very end, the end wall is just this massive cage. And as you look into it, you can see that the moonlight is streaming in, and it looks like it'd be an open cage where it's like a few, it's like a yard-sized cage, more like an exhibit of a zoo than anything, with these large walls kind of fencing it in, but keeping it open to the air. And that's where the glyph is going to be kept. And I see you don't have the glyph.
Well, yeah, see, we found a bit of difference between the difficulty of these two fellers and that one. So we thought of bringing those two securely here, and maybe we'll worry about that one later.
We've
So you're
learned
saying-
a little new information about the glyph, is what my friend is trying to say, and we wanted to ensure that the enclosure that you had would be adequate to contain the beast safely.
I'm just curious. What is this information you gleaned in your expedition? He kind of like gets out this
the
little notepad and a little pen ready.
The exact words were something like a giant death beast. Is that what they called it?
Yeah, giant
like
death
scribbling it
machine.
down.
It huge and it eats everything and it claws on
About-
trees.
Everything, not
About
just
3
metal
people tall.
specifically.
But you know, little man, do you know tree? It claws them, and that's how you know that's where it lives.
Wow, where
Doesn't
do you learn all
sleep.
this from? Is it
There's
some
these guys,
scribbling
they
down?
try and kill us, but I make them my friends anyways.
What were their names?
Well, one of them was Isabel, the other one I didn't ask.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're assholes and we don't ask names. So yeah,
They didn't ask us our names.
fair.
So when are you expecting to get the glyph by?
Silk shakes her head, says, "Not for 100 gold. If it's the death beast from the north that the clans are familiar with, it's killed entire clans."
He's just like writing this down, like as if he's too super impartial to the fact that it's super dangerous. He's like, whatever, it's fine. Just writes it down. Well, 2 out of 3 isn't that bad. I mean, I was really excited and looking forward to having a glyph here in my exhibits in my
Yeah,
chambers.
no,
here,
of
but-
course. We're all excited to meet this glyph. Just not for 100,
That's
Yes,
fair. I'll
perhaps
try to get someone a little more skilled than you in the future, I guess. Then.
Yeah, get someone who's bigger and stronger than me. Like maybe
Yeah.
like 20 feet tall.
Yeah, you obviously weren't really skilled for this job opening, I guess.
so.
I wasn't
Oh,
tall
so-
enough. I need to be
As
20 feet tall.
skill is one thing. You need numbers. I would say at least 30 to 40. If it's the B-side fair, it is
Did you just say 32? That's very specific.
30 to 40. Because our clans are about 24 tribesmen.
Oh, okay.
And so, with this, Binra, hands you over the 200 shins, which I imagine maybe you split 4 ways, maybe not. It's up to you guys to decide. For returning these 2 animals to him, and he kind of like puts them in their appropriately sized cages, and he kind of like sprinkles some kind of thing on them, and that solid light kind of disintegrates around them, as if he knows that kind of technology or something. And that's where we're gonna end our session.
Awesome. And Silk would take like 10 chin and then let the others divide up the rest.
The real question is Todd going to be able to part with his friend?
Of course, Grayson. I'll part with
Of
that
course,
friend, and I'll stay with my
yeah,
other
the
friends.
cat.
Hey, blip blop, bloop bloop bloop. Can I come back and visit Bebop?
You
Sure,
named
yeah.
it.
He'll be dissected in the morning.
That was fun.
Good old Bebop.
And
Yes.
so, and then we see Gabo, the goods guy. He has got a little pamphlet hanging outside of his vendor. It's like Mercs wanted one glyph, 1,000 shin reward. And then that's where we're ending the session.
Nice.
There we go.
Yay.
Yay.
To be